listen to Bobby Oller about anything. This motherfucker's got all kinds of
I'm going to be straight up serious. I'm all business today.
You are not all business today. That's not why people follow you, my dude.
Only people that follow me want to fucking kill me, dude. Like, I've had to move so many times.
Bobby, just be yourself. Just be yourself.
I love it, man. There's nothing I love more than a Bobby Oller on the podcast. It always makes it so good. So
I'm so pissed I didn't have time to do my. I had bought a Zorro mask and all kind of shit, and Ben ain't even here.
What? Ben is very rarely here. Why did you buy a Zorro mask?
Well, he looks a little dark. Zorro was dark. You know, I could have done that. I went and got me a hairdo. I got me a hairpiece. I was going to sell the hair pieces. Mine come with a chin strap in case you're fucking working.
I can see it.
It's got suede. It's got suede sideburns.
I'm just.
Oh my god!
I heard a rumor, Bobby. I heard a rumor that you were actually the guy that was in the GIMP costume in Pulp Fiction. Can you verify?
I mean, I was motherfucking. You talking about the GIMP?
Yeah, I'm talking about the GIMP.
No, it wasn't the goddamn
GIMP. Who else was wearing the GIMP costume? Bobby?
No.
No? All right. Everybody,
that wasn't me. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the War Room. All right, we appreciate you guys spending your evening with us. For those of you that are new here and don't know who we are, we'll start with you, Dave. Why don't you let the folks know who you are and where they can follow you?
All right, my name's David Harris. You can follow me on Instagram at David Harris Strategic Solutions. I did 20 years in the military, 3 of them in the 82nd, 17 in 3rd Special Forces Group. Since I've retired 2.5 years ago, I've been the lead firearms and CQB instructor at Vortex Optics, leading their military and law enforcement training.
That's awesome. And I'll tell you what, I got tired of having just special operation guys on here. And we're like, you know what? We need somebody regular. We need somebody normal that don't really do anything for a living or that didn't do anything in the military. So we brought on Bobby, our resident 82nd Airborne guy. My bad, Bobby. I'm just fucking with you.
The only time anybody has ever described Bobby as a normal person is
look, man, I got stories, but we're not going to put them all on here.
Oh, man. But yeah, Bobby, please
Oller,
let the folks know who you are.
Bobby, everybody knows me by now. Former 82nd Airborne member, 11B, GWAT OG, original. Now I do a lot of research for a nonprofit organization called Tours of Duty. You can look them up at toursofduty.org. We are making trips to Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos, trying to bring back for basically service members that were lost during the Vietnam War. And that's pretty much been a project of ours for quite a while. If you can, look up the page, leave a comment. We're on social media everywhere. Appreciate these guys for allowing me to be part and bring up that organization. It's a good cause.
Dude, I like it because I don't think people understand like the level of work like big conventional army guys do, right? Because when 11 Bravo's out there, man, like they get after it. Like us, we're kind of like prima donnas, right? Like we have all the air support, we have all the Gucci gear.
Oh, I'm not going
like we have all the intel
I'm not
package.
going out without a security team.
I tell you, man.
My brother,
but
that's the reason I left 82nd, because I needed the Gucci stuff.
My brother,
I tell you,
11 Bravo.
Oh, it's him! It's him!
What's up, fellas?
My brother was in 11 Bravo. He worked in Iraq for like 18 months. He was one of those guys that got a deployment for 18 months. He worked in the Triangle. He saw more combat in that deployment than I did in my entire career. Like that guy, I mean, knocking door to door, going through it. Ben, we're just going through introductions. I shamed Bobby before we got on here. We actually have our first super chat of the day. So I want to say thank you very much, our boy Mason Young. And it's actually for Bobby. So before we transition to Ben's intro, Mason Young, can we make Bobby try to do a regular accent one time?
What the hell's a regular accent?
There it goes right there.
Let me ask you something.
Hey,
Let me ask you something.
What do you mean regular accent, man? Like, I love how he gets just a little higher pitch when he's
Let me explain something to
hey,
you.
man, hey, let me tell you.
Explain something to you. All right. At least I don't get on the damn thing like all these other people do. These TV reporters, they get on there and every time they say somebody's name that's like Latino, Rodriguez, like they got a, you know what I mean? All of a sudden they get an accent. You don't see me over here hollering out Jim O'Flaherty. You know what I mean? Like,
at least he's consistent with who he is, right? So you keep doing you, Bobby. But
I'm gonna start speaking fucking medieval.
Oh man, how you doing, Ben? For those who don't
good,
know
Jay.
you,
How's it going, fellas? Good to see you. Am I
I'm
too
good,
loud right
man.
now? How am I doing? Am I a little bit? Feels a little. Up.
So I know last episode people were saying that we needed to normalize the vocals. So Aaron, I think you're a little low. And folks, let us know who's loud and who's low and what we need to do. Because Bobby's good, Dave is good, Ben is good. I think Aaron was a little low. Yeah.
Low?
Yeah, you're pretty low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can figure out this dial.
But while Aaron does that, Ben, we're just going through intros for those that don't know who you are. If you can, and then also, folks, I'm not going to tell y'all again. Damn it, go over there and follow Ben's YouTube. We're trying to get that thing.
Thank you so much.
We're trying to grow that thing.
Hey, I want to thank all the supporters out there. Hit a big, huge milestone of 400 subscribers. I know I'm coming out with my, how-to YouTube book really soon. Now I'm a retired Marine, Lieutenant Colonel. Was a battalion commander out of 2nd Marine Raider Battalion, 2nd Marine Special Operations Battalion, serving Force Recon, serving the infantry. Did a bunch of other stuff as well too. Was an attaché, did like foreign affairs, things like that. So I've got a very diverse background as well. Right now I do executive coaching, leadership coaching, inspirational speaking, all that type of stuff. Trying to help people to break through their next level and get unstuck, whether it's people or teams or whatever like that. So that's where I spend my time. My YouTube channel is mostly focused on that, on inspiration and strategies, mindset, and then also, working on the internal software that we're running up here. Because a lot of the times what I find is that people, they might have a good strategy. It's the how, but if you don't fix, your why, and then also the way you see yourself, your identity, the thermostat is going to be set to a certain degree, right? Temperature. You like it at 72 degrees. You might need to go to 92 to become the person you want to be doing, have the things you want in life and just to live the life you want to live. And are you ready to take that on? And the way you see yourself, your self-worth and your value matters so much. So I just put out a YouTube video about that, which was super exciting, a lot of fun for me. So I'm always excited to be here with these rock stars on the War Room. So thank you.
You never got to worry about me coming over if you keep the fucking house at 72, baby. We're 68 around this motherfucker with the fan blowing.
And then what we'll do, we'll start putting all the social media links in the description box so you guys don't have to go find them. And if we can find Ben's and throw it in the chat, I know the chat is ready, making their way over there. And then Aaron,
thank you.
Do you even need an intro, or everybody should know who you are, right? Oh, Jake is in the chat.
What? Boy, he's lucky he was gone because I have something for him today.
Let's start off with a sound check. Am I better now? Is my game better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, tight.
Not
Great.
quite as loud as everybody else yet.
Man, I'm fucking famous. Just Google Aaron Love. I'm an Air Force pararescueman. I was in for 22 years. Got out at the beginning of last year. I'm a patriot. I'm an anti-communist, counter-revolutionary. I love y'all. I love America, and I love being here. You can go check out this sweet shirt. Just hit my link tree if you're an incel, because if you call yourself an internet celebrity, you're already an incel. So go ahead and check that out over at Red Pill Threads. That's who I am. That's where you can find me. Let's go, Jay.
Absolutely. And then, guys, my name is Jay Dorlius. Again, 20 years military career, 5 of it in Big Army as a combat engineer, and then 15 of it as an SF guy over at 3rd Special Forces Group. Had the awesome opportunity to train under Dave while I was an SF guy. Maybe a little bit more lethal. But with all that said, guys, we're going to cover a variety of topics today to include, oh, man, we got some interesting ones, right? So we have a couple of active duty soldiers down in Fort Carson protecting a known terrorist organization recently designated by President Trump, right? We also have the Trump firing Waltz story that we're going to cover. We're going to cover the military parade, and then we're also going to cover the Sig Sauer P320 drama, starting off with the first one. All right. Now, Dave, this one's going to be mainly geared towards you because you have a lot of experience in that field, right? So the Marine Corps just raised the red flag on Sig Sauer P320. All right. After years of lawsuits, injuries, and allegation of uncommanded discharge, they're now calling for a full engineering review of the weapon system.
Whoa.
Sig says the gun absolutely cannot fire without a trigger pull, but law enforcement agencies in at least 6 states have already pulled it from service. Now, recently, I did a video on my channel. Make sure you guys go check that out, Green Beret Chronicles, if you guys aren't aware. Just like every other big manufacturers, Glock, Vortex, Sig, or some of the big ones out there, they have influencers, military influencers, right? And recently, there was a video put out by a couple of military influencers stating that, hey, I stand behind this weapon system because I've used it multiple times and it's never gone off. In the meantime, there's videos all over the internet. There's lawsuits that has been settled where Sig Sauer has paid out tens of millions of dollars to these individuals for injuries received when the weapon system went off, right? So this is a 2-part question. Dave, what are your thoughts on this, since this is the realm that you're currently in? And then second, as military guys, like, how should we approach these certain issues, especially when we have the influence that we have in telling people, hey, you know, go buy this pistol because it's awesome, etc.
So can I hit the second question first?
Sure.
All right. So the second part is, as military guys, in general, everyone, I'll be honest, we're judging from our own experiences. So we're judging from our own experiences. So for the most part, I shoot this gun. I like this gun. I'm going to tell you, go buy that gun. So that's kind of where I'm at, where we start crossing over.
Are we delayed or is this me?
All right, stand by. Ben.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you want me to answer? Were you talking to me just now?
No. So Dave is going. So I don't know if there's a delay.
I hear a drill in the background. Someone's got a drill going back there. That's exciting.
Okay. No, I don't hear anything either.
Well, you know, I got to think that, you know, the weapon discharging in the holster is not a good look, right? Overall, that's just not that's not what we're hoping for. So, I don't know. This whole thing seems a little bit just pretty cut and dry.
All right, gotcha. So I'm not sure if there's a delay. Ben, can you hear us real time, or is there a delay with your side?
I hear you guys fine.
Okay, so Ben could hear us real time. Aaron is having some issues. Guys, you know, it wouldn't be the war room if there wasn't any malfunction. But Dave, why don't you hit us up from the top, and then we'll make our way around the circle.
So I think that as just a military member or a guy that gets out, you don't really owe. You just going off your own experience, what you like and what you do. Like, hey, I like Geisley triggers. I like this gun. I like that, the pistol. You're going off your own experience, so you're going to tell them what you think on that. I think where we get the crossover is when we start becoming influencers, or if we start becoming trainers, like I'm with Vortex. And I told plenty of cops before we started coming out with the Defender dots, don't buy the Venom or Viper. They'd be like, hey, how much is this? I'd be like, don't do it. If you're not going to buy the Razor, don't buy it. Why? Because at that time, our dots weren't up to snuff. And the reality is, I don't want them going out and having that to be their duty weapon and knowing that dot wasn't ready. So I think when you start crossing over into that world where you're trying to get, when you're getting paid by companies or you're representing brands, you actually need to be more forthcoming with your opinion of stuff. Like, look, I'm only doing this because of X, or hey, other products out there are just as good. When it comes to the Sig,
all right, just jump back on. You guys hear me okay?
Oh man, you're fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
So
no, you're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does the audience seeing this? Is everything working out over there?
Yeah. They haven't said anything crazy. I think Aaron's having issues, and then
do we address this yet? This topic?
No. Dave is hitting it next, and then we're gonna go to you.
Okay.
So when it comes to Sig Sauer, can you hear me?
I'm not seeing or hearing him.
How about you, Bobby? You seeing Dave?
Yeah, I see Dave. He just froze up for just a second, but he was running fine. I was listening to him. No, there he is. He's moving. Shit, he's good.
Yeah. I'm just talking. I'm waiting.
Okay.
That was Andrew Tate. That wasn't Dave.
Go ahead and finish off, Dave.
So when you come to the 6 hour thing, I think too many people have had incidents for you not to say it's you. One or two people, okay. But once you get into where it's hundreds of lawsuits, it has to be something up at a point, only you keep entering a relationship with girls. Eventually we got to look at you if there are 100 girls break up with you. So we got to say, maybe you're the guy. So I think what happened with these guys is they're standing on it. And I mean, maybe they have some tie. I can't speak to that. And I think even if you have a tie to a company, you got to be honest with the public.
I mean, he's basically saying Navy SEALs. I mean, that's the tie right there. I mean, they always take the SEALs. I'm serious. I mean, they've had.
So you're saying if you get kicked out of 109 parties, that you shouldn't be allowed to go to another party? Is that what you're saying? You think it might
what I'm
be
saying
you?
Is, if you get kicked out of 109 parties, when you get kicked out the 110th, we might not believe your story that it was them.
Got it. That's fair. Hey, that's fair. Hey, is my mic better finally? Like, can people hear me? Is it good? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I had an issue.
Someone's saying that I have to get a better camera. How's the camera looking now? I'm using the ZV-10 Sony. I don't know how much better I can get.
I can see the fucking shine on your hair like that.
that's from working out and not coming home and cleaning up.
I use transmission fluid. That motherfucker.
That's right. That's what actually gun oil. It's gun oil. It's on the range shooting.
So Dave crushed it, boys. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a little background info here from Grok as we look through here. So the Sig Sauer P320 has faced significant scrutiny over reports of unintentional discharges, numerous lawsuits and incidents. Over 100 people, including law enforcement, officers, and civilians, have reported injuries from uncommanded discharges. I actually have a great video of this queued up. We're going to hit it right now. And we're going to see this one is, I found this one specifically. It's super apparent that this was not an operator error. So we're going to go ahead and cue that one up right meow. The crazy thing here, like, look how his finger is out of the trigger guard. It's nowhere near his second finger, nowhere near.
Oh, fuck, man. That is wild. That is fucking scary.
There's a ton of them.
Damn.
That is scary.
Ben,
what are your thoughts?
Did he get hurt?
No, he didn't. There was actually one news story that I found. I can pull it up. It was a little bit too long to play here on the show, but there's actually a report of a guy that was, I don't know if they were doing training or if it was a real world, but he was basically, he put his Sig P320 back into the holster and it shot him in the leg. And there's body cam footage of people showing up on scene and trying to stop the bleed.
That's insane. I mean, anytime you have something that's causes a complete safety situation, I mean, it's got to go. It's got to go. Bottom line, I can only imagine the amount of BS that whoever that was shooting, soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, whatever, who was shooting right there, what they went through. Cause right away it's operator error. That's what they're going to say there. It's like, you ND'd on the range. Like, no, I didn't, I did everything I normally do. And so they probably did a big investigation. Luckily they had it on film and could see it right away. But this is just terrible. I mean, that's unbelievable, especially if they're having a problem like that. I don't know what the overall program is, how much they bought, how deep they are into it, but Sig has got to make this thing better. That's gonna cost them some money for sure. So
now Ben, as a commander of a MARSOC battalion, like if you hear anything of this going on, like, okay, so the Marine just initiated this review, are you taking any chances, or are you ordering your guys to just stand down? Because I would think like this would be something that will probably come in front of you as a individual that's responsible for these men. Like, what would your options be? What would that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine at that point there would be a number of stopgaps before it reached me. As it reached me, like people already shutting it down. and just telling me this is what we recommend. This is what, what I say. And, I'm going to listen to, unless it's like something absolutely crazy, but there's so many years of operational experience from my senior enlisted operator, my master gunnery sergeant coming by, from the sergeant major, as well. And then, my chief warrant officer, who's, the armory officer, all these different things, who has all the deep knowledge about, the ordnance officer, so on and so forth, to the company commander, to the team sergeant, everyone would probably come to me at that point and say, look, we did our own investigation. They wouldn't come to me until like they've already done their local. I would get notified of it probably, but we're taking care of it. We're doing an investigation. And they'd come to me and say, look, here's the evidence. Here's all this, because nobody wants to burn somebody if they're a good performer and it's something that's totally erratic. And then they'd be like, look, there's a problem with the weapon system. We got to take this up higher, take it up to regiment and have them deal with it. And then it would go from there. We'd show the findings. And if there are other corroborating evidence from other streams, just like when we do targeting, right? We're doing targeting. We're looking for corroborating pieces of evidence, multiple source, not just one single source, before we, go out and do targeting, and do we actually take action against a target. So same thing with this. We have, corroborating stories getting together saying there's a malfunction. And then, we have to take some type of administrative and command level action against SIG. And so that would get, larger MARSOC involved with that, and maybe even the Marine Corps, depending on how big the program is.
What's up, Bobby?
Oh, I want to ask Ben a question. So, because it relates into what he's saying right there. I was one of the 82nd Airborne Division's master gunners. And what that means by is when companies were coming to try to sell gear, equipment, rifles, whatever, me and a couple other guys, master gunners, were taking them out there and we do our own assessment on them, shoot them, throw them, fucking kick them in the dirt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when we do a write-up. Okay? This is what we say. We think this sucks. We think this is good. Yeah. And then after that, we're giving our assessment of it. So it goes from there to who influenced the scheme after that to implement them.
That's a great question, because it's the same thing. I mean, I remember before they were, investing in a new SAW and new automatic weapons, the infantry level, new, rifles. It's years of testing, really testing the crap out of it. We were
testing the 6.8, not the stop, the 6.8 back in 2004.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how long it's taken.
Yeah. But, and so, I imagine it's happening. Maybe there's
another great video
malfunction.
I got another great video we're going to show here. This one, this guy is handling, so you can see obviously the dude in the cuffs here. So I'm just going to play this small snippet of it. This small little clip.
He got a damn ankle bracelet on too.
Yeah. Hey man, it's probably in Florida.
Not working.
Hey man,
not working. Stand your ground.
But you can see here this officer that's about to go hands on him here. You're going to see the red arrow of death, and then watch what happens.
But the firearm is still jostled when it goes off, and it is impossible to say from the footage if there was some obstruction in the holster or if it was not properly holstered in the first
That's
place.
Wild as fuck.
However, with the sheer volume of these complaints from law enforcement agencies around the country.
Hold on.
That's scary.
Hold on. Right, I want you guys to pay attention to the left side of the screen. I want this guy's man card immediately. Did you just hold on, dog? Hold on, dog. He did the little scared foot kick, and then he plugged his ears like a little bitch. Oh my God, the foot kick is everything. Look at this fucking foot. I'm gonna pause it right on Jackson kick. He said
sheer volume of these complaints.
Hey, but Aaron, in all fairness, if you haven't been around gunfire and that shit goes off, like to a regular civilian or someone that hasn't been in a lot of firefights, like,
he's a cop, bro. I'm sorry, man. Give me that guy. I want to dox this motherfucker. I got to get him out here. You know what? I'm going to do some internet. Bobby, I'm going to be texting you later like you text me 700 times a week. We're getting to the bottom of this one.
You bring that shit.
Hey, I'll tell you a quick funny story. This is funny as shit. It just triggered this memory. I don't even think any of this stuff until I'm with you guys. But so this was like 2004 in the Najaf, Iraq. And Najaf's going down, right? Like major urban combat. We're doing a raid at night, doing a direct action. We go hit this target. I'm on the outside, and all of a sudden there's like some shooting. It's not effective. It's not like it's in the area. It's not like, I'm taking cover. I'm already moving fast from vehicle to vehicle. And it's like all of a sudden I trip and fall on something. And you're wearing all that shit, man. You go down hard, right? Like I was like,
well, it was like a
boom,
yard
like
sale
fucking
out there,
nods, right, dude? Nods, everything hit me in the face. I was like, oh, I'm on the ground, and all of a sudden, I look up. People are in the fucking Humvees, turtled the fuck up down in the turret. Nobody's out there. I jump up. I go, you motherfuckers thought I got shot, and nobody fucking came out here. I go, this is some fuck. I was yelling in the street, laughing like Bobby's laughing because you get hysterical. I was like, you motherfucking nods are all fucked up. You motherfuckers thought I got shot, and no one did
cares.
shit.
No one cares about the officer, sir. They were like,
this was a fellow captain, the JTAC, this motherfucker. And I looked at him. I go, his name is Riff. Riff, I know you're gonna hear this someday. I go, you thought I got shot, motherfucker? He's like, I know you're good. I knew you're good. He's laughing so hard. Like, I don't blame you. If I got taken out, I'd turtle the fuck up too.
Dave, what you got, Dave?
So, we were talking just about the testing. What we do know is that the SIG gun failed in testing. It failed to drop test.
Oh,
yeah, failed multiple drop tests. They have it on video.
This isn't like a new thing.
Yeah,
so
and
Dave.
It failed in multiple accesses too, Dave. So it failed on the straight down drop. It also failed on the up where it hits like the dovetail or the beaver tail on the back of the weapon. It failed on multiple different axes. They couldn't get it to fail when it fell straight on its side, but the other two that they dropped it on the two different axes, it failed both of those.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm not
Dave.
I know how it like the reality is. It was this right here.
well, so that's alarming because, like with plates and everything else, they have to be sent to a testing center. They come back with test sheets and whatnot.
Yep.
And it'll say, it passed, failed, da 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 da. If you've got a failure on there, whoever brung this to requisitions or whatever and got this ink, which I'm just going to assume, and it's nothing against you, Ben, it's a former officer that has got himself aligned with a defense company or whatnot, or a weapons company. He knows so-and-so. They probably were underneath him in command somewhere at some point.
Are you saying that it might be that general that retired and got hired at SIG?
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. I mean, unfortunately,
desire to know more intensifies. Do tell.
I can't hear anything Dave's saying. Just so you guys know, like I'm in my own vacuum over here.
We
guys
can
are
all hear
quiet,
Dave.
and so for me, it's really weird. I'm wondering, like, what the hell's going on? No one's
Maybe
talking.
turn your volume up. I'd hate to say
dude.
something so condescendingly.
I don't even see him. I don't see him.
You don't see Dave?
No.
He's saying you're black. He can't. He's saying you're black.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time I've heard that.
I can't believe if I would have done that, man, they would have shut me off here.
You can't cancel Ben. Bobby, go ahead and make the joke that everybody's thinking of.
That's why, because we all can see and hear Dave just fine.
I'm a Native American though.
Hey, Aaron, what are your thoughts about this issue? And then a follow-up question for you is, if Aaron Love is a Sig P320 influencer and something happens to one of his viewers after he recommends the gun, should Aaron Love be held accountable if that person is injured?
Gotcha. Love that dang question. Love it. So, first and foremost, man, you got to look at risk to mission, risk to force, right? There's 3 risks that we look at: risk to mission, risk to force, and risk of inaction. This puts our actual folks at risk. I can pull up pictures of people getting shot with this. You cannot have an ND like me. As when I was performing medical function of a PJ, man, I'm jumping into helicopters. I'm jumping in and out of vehicles. I'm bending over patients. Like, we're always super, when I was an instructor, that was a safety violation for our students. That could get you kicked out of a 2-year pipeline. Is if you didn't manage your weapon appropriately when you're starting to go in on patient care, man, that's a big deal, right? The first rule of medicine is do no harm. Well, shooting your fucking patient is a lot of harm, homie. Like, they asked you to come there and help them. So the second that these tests came out, and the fact that we have over 100 verified incidents, their videos are all over YouTube. Dave has done a great job of highlighting all of these things. It speaks to the money behind it. Dave kind of made, the Johnny Manziel money sign. Like, there's too much money behind it, but man, this is risk to force. Like, you have to look at this like it's an actual danger. We can prove that it happens. You got to get away from it. Now, to your second part, hell the fuck yes. If you get out there, like, I am very, very deliberate about what it is that I sign my name to. Thankfully, we are at the level now where people will hit us up and be like, oh, endorse this product. Listen, man, if I haven't tested your product, if I haven't, no kidding, put my hands on it and verified that it's safe, that it's made in America, that it passes my bar for what I want to sign my name to, I am telling people to go and get this piece of equipment. And if that ends up hurting them, man, you play some small role. Now, when we like broach into the litigation aspect, am I actually liable and culpable? I seem to remember a whole bunch of people saying there was this whole vaccine thing that was safe and effective, and it turns out that it wasn't, and then people got injured over it, and we'll just leave that aside. But if I sign my name to something and I say that this thing is great, like go out and get the Sig P320 right now, and you have an accidental discharge, a negligent, uncommanded discharge of a weapon that I have said to you is safe and you should use it, man, you should 100%, you should pay a penalty in some way. And whether that's loss of followers, whether that's you getting the old roasterino on the interwebs, whatever else. I just can't wait for Tim Kennedy to come out and say that he's a SIG guy.
Bobby, what are your thoughts, man?
Okay, so because I've been on both sides of this, I kind of gave my backstory as far as being a master gunner. Now, on the other side of this, the story, this is kind of a good story. I'm glad this got brung up because it bothers me. A few years ago, I was at SHOT Show with a friend of mine that was a sniper for 10th Mountain. He's also been on I think about 5 or 6 years on a reality show for Discovery, which they kicked me off of, bastards. Anyhow, he hooked up. Some people went out there, met him. They think that his position is going to get them some sort of clout or whatnot. Anyway, move forward is they were trying to sell body armor. He hits me up and I'm like, yeah, I'm down, whatnot. They send us a couple test plates. I take the test plates out to the shooting range. I shoot it with a GM6 Linux 50 caliber. Stops it. I'm like, whoa, this is a good, this is a good plate. It's light, everything else. All right, move forward. They send me the test sheets on it. Everything looks good. I get a hold of an influencer. He wasn't as big as Demolition Ranch at the time, but he's a good size. Get out there. He's got his crew, whatnot. I bring all these plates with me. It failed every shot we shot at it. Every single shot.
That's supposed to save someone's life, man. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. Risk to force, right? You can't say that something is good and then have it kill somebody because it didn't perform.
I don't care if somebody else does it. If I'm going to be involved in it, I'm going to shoot it my damn self. So the sad thing about this was, and like you said about Made in America, well, I took the plates prior that I had, and I took the plates they sent me, and I ripped them both apart. The ones prior had Dyneema in them. The new ones were cheap. What they had done is they went and bought some high-dollar plates, recovered them in their company name, used those for test subjects, and they were going to sell the trash, but it was going to be on my recommendation and an influencer. Come to find out, they had bought this garbage from a company in South Korea, after my investigation. Anyway, I won't spill their name, but I told them if I ever see this shit sold anywhere, like I'll turn them into the proper authorities and everything else, then I'll kick their ass. But that's how people will do for money. They don't care because it doesn't affect them personally. It's like passing a crash on the side of the road. You look at it, you're like, that fucker's dead. You get to the next street, it's gone, but you just destroyed somebody else's life over there,
I gotcha. Now
I'm morally getting invested in it is all it is.
Yeah. Gotcha. Now, Dave, as a young 18 Bravo, like how would you because again, if you weren't present for all the testing and all that stuff that goes through, I know we typically get, hell, I want to say even group is switching to Sig Sauers now. Like, how would you handle this as a young Bravo if you were on the teams right now and then this came across your desk and you already have all the equipment, guys already using it, like as a, Bravo in charge of weapons and in charge of, training the team, how are you handling this?
Do you want the real answer or the
both?
What we should do answer?
Give us both. Give us both. We're also mentoring on here. Give us both.
All right. So the first thing I'm gonna figure out what's going on. And I remember we had a perfect example with Glocks. They have a disconnect, the little spring, right? We were about to deploy, and I didn't like how the triggers felt in our Glocks. So I drove to every gun store in Fayetteville area, and I was just like, hey, I want to know, buy your disconnects. How much you disconnect? And I bought new disconnects so we could get lighter triggers in our guns, and it felt smoother. Now, I found some. They were like, hey, take them. You're good. That's not the right answer, but I'm going to figure out how to make them work. I'm going to be like, okay, what is going on in the system that's making it break? Let me fix it. And I would try to find parts. The right answer would be, I'm going to tell everyone that, because from what I understand, group has not went away from Glocks. So I'd be like, look, no one's putting on the 320 until we figure this out. Until it's figured out and sent back and fixed, do not rock that gun. Because now I'm just going to have, now you're a liability in the operation. If you want to rock the 320, you become a liability because now, hey, you're bending over to flex cuff a dude and the gun goes off and it hits you in the leg.
I wouldn't give him no bullets.
Hey, so
that motherfucker all you want is no bullets.
Hey, man, problem solved, man. Problem solved, problem staying solved.
You see the new manual the SIG just put out, right?
Yeah. Like it tells you,
not having
it tells you in the manual, like the best way to carry this gun is with no bullets in it.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, I'm a freaking SF guy. My secondary weapon is what I load first, so my pistol, and then my primary. If I'm in a house and my main weapon goes down and I go to transition, now I got to have a couple of extra seconds to rack around in there and then get on target, and it's I'm dead.
Yeah, think about law enforcement. That's their primary. You're telling them not to have bullets in their gun.
That is
Get out of here. We do have a quick super chat to button this one up. We actually got two of them, but I'm going to hit this one up first from New Bob Dole. Thanks. Super chats are never expected, but they're always appreciated. Okay. What are y'all's preferred pistols and calibers? I'll start. I had my wife bring mine up. Man, so I shot a Glock my entire career. This is you guys can see it's unloaded. I had my friend over at Scout Arms. So everything on this, just to Dave's point, it's a different trigger. The only thing that is stock on this weapon is a freaking the number on it for the stupid list that I have to be on. Trigicon red dot sight, ported barrel. This is my everyday carry. I basically went to Scout Arms and I was like, hey, build me a princess gun that I can carry every single day. I like it because I hate the P320. There was no way that I was buying a SIG. I know there's a bunch of SIG fanboys out there. Shot the Glock my entire career, so it was just I got an upgraded version for when I retired. Dave, a 9mm, because that dumb conversation between a bigger caliber than 9mm, just get plus P if you're worried about end state ballistics, and then by the way, just be a better fucking shooter. Go train. Oh, I'm gonna hit you with a 45 because it's gonna put you down, bro. I can let go about 10 of these before you can get out of your holster, so I'm not really worried about the caliber. Dave, go ahead.
So I've been partnered now with they provide me with pistols, OA Defense 2311s. I think 1911, 2011 triggers are the best out there. And they make a 2311. It takes SIG's mags, but it doesn't have the grip safety. So it tried to be as much as it could to be a duty performing weapon.
I hate that grip safety, dog. The grip safety, I could never especially when stuff gets wonky. Like I found we tested one out to go to secondary and I would grab it. And sometimes that's not a perfect final firing grip that you establish. And to get that grip safety to actually engage a combat, I had so many problems with that. I never went to a grip safety.
Yep.
Bobby, you speak Ebonics. You speak Ebonics. What the fuck does wonky? What the fuck does wonky mean? Because this
jank, we just say jank, funky.
Oh my god, dude.
You gotta lay down and play that funky music.
You can replace it. Play that wonky music.
Yeah, play that wonky music. There we go.
Bobby, pistol of choice. I think is what Aaron was
I'm gonna be a little bit different than these guys, man. I'm a wheel gun.
You would be a wheel gun.
You damn right I am.
You
would
would
that
be.
Motherfucker don't jam.
Of course. How old are you? 75?
No,
I'm not 75, but I told a goddamn judge all the time on me, and it's got buckshot in it. So yeah, you might get off by 10 of them, but if your ass is running, I'm got you.
And your wall.
I got all of them.
And your wall.
And I've got that one.
44 Red Hawk ass.
I carry a 500 Smith & Wesson in my car or in my truck for intimidation purposes. Somebody want to brandish a firearm, I break out the motherfucking piece. It's about this long, weigh 15 pounds. Also, I always liked revolvers. I enjoy them. I just can't justify for what I'm doing. It's not like I'm shooting somebody every damn day. I am going to have something good. You don't have to run out. Obviously, Aaron, but with his background, he knows how to use that weapon, sight it, whatnot. I can see him justifying carrying that. Everyday person, don't run out and spend $2,000 on a damn pistol. You're never going to use it for what purposes you have, and most of you aren't going to carry more than one magazine anyway. So,
although you should.
Although you should, they don't have medical on them either. People think they're ready for anything. They don't even have a simple medical kit on them. Like, bro, you're nothing but a liability, homie. Don't tell me about your everyday carry.
Wow. So for me, it's Glock, a Glock and a pocket knife. That's what I like to carry. How about you, Ben? What'd you threaten that CVS guy with?
I'm like, again, I like
you shot a motherfucker at a pharmacy.
Yeah,
he beat him with his own hands. He almost had to go to hands on him. The question isn't, can Ben beat up 100 gorillas? The question is, how many gorillas would it take to pull Ben off the CVS guy that talked to him while
You're asking too many damn questions? You're asking too much.
I would rather you shoot me than pistol whip me.
Kimber 45 Pro Carry. I like that a lot. So, I think obviously we were carrying the 45, the soft mod 45 for a long time, Force Recon, and I just got so used to it, and grew up shooting that 45 in the military, and also carry an H&K. I love H&K USP 9mm. I love the idea what Aaron's talking about, NATO round 9mm, something very high capacity magazines. It makes a big difference, but I think it just depends what you train with, how you train, all the stuff like that. I like iron sights. I like tritium night sights. I like iron sights. I don't like the windows because I think this is all just more stuff to get broken. You know what I mean? So for me, I mean, I imagine if you train with it and you're good at it and you got all and you're used to it, then good on you. But I just like unless it's an M4, I like everything pretty much iron and Trigicon type night sights.
Just to put it out there so that Ben doesn't shame me, I actually got the raised Trigicon iron sights. I can actually see those through my Trigicon. So there you go.
That's good. That's
I
good
see
stuff.
in the chat a lot of people. I've seen a couple people asking about the staccato, and it's what do you? And unless you just want to buy it, my question is, I'm like, what do you need that for? If it's like jewelry to you,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, staccatos are great if you want to spend $3,000 on a pistol that's a safe queen that you don't actually beat the shit out of. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm getting at, basically. And then the other gun I keep in my truck, I got a Stagecoach 12 gauge double barrel. That way, because I can get him up. You know what I'm saying? Like quick. It's not that long, and I keep 3-inch in it.
You see some of those guys that can trick shoot with a 6-shooter like this, and they can really hit shit. Can you imagine?
Look, when I hit him, I hit both of them triggers coming up quick. It's over with. I'm taking the front cap off their shit.
Dave, you probably know this. Who is I'm going to pull the video up just because that's a great video. What's the world record 6-gun shooter's name? The guy that
he's an older guy too.
He's super old. Yeah.
Oh, Jerry Mitchell.
There you go. I'll get a video of Jerry Mitchell.
He's with Vortex. Yeah, they got the
That's crazy
reticle.
stuff.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I've shot with him a couple of times and got to meet with him and shoot with him. He's one of the nicest people, which he could be a jerk because he's like Jordan of this competitive shooting, but he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Is it really?
They ever bring back motherfucking walking them duelings. We start dueling pistols again. Pace. I think we ought to settle things.
That'll make people watch what they say to people.
Hey.
Oh man.
All right. Hold on. I got this video. Here we go.
Chat?
Yeah, I got another super chat. I'm going to show this video and then we'll hit the super chat up. So here's Jerry himself. This is world record. This is 8 shots. I want to say on target.
Yep. Holy crap.
Yeah.
2.99 off a reload out of a wheel gun. Bobby, you ain't got nothing on Jerry.
That's why I have a fucking pistol shotgun. I carry a Taurus Judge. It shoots 410 rounds.
So I'm going. Hey, this
Jesus
is like 5 years ago. I'm going down to Fort Benning.
That's what I'm imagining with these guys. Back in the day.
I'm going down to Fort Benning to shoot a match, and I'm shooting in the squad with Jerry Mitchell. My son's like 5, so I'm showing him the video. I'm like, "Hey, I'm shooting with this guy." My son's like, "Oh, you shoot?" He looks at me after he sees him shooting like that. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna lose."
Thanks for the vote of confidence, son.
Right.
What's the other super chat, Aaron?
So we got a couple of them. So again, super chats are never expected. They're always appreciated. Grabbing Stain K, longtime watcher, listener of y'all, as a non-combat vet, would love to hear some funny, odd, lesser known, soft superstitions and traditions man, I'd love to put those out there. So put a little pin in that one. We already hit the other super chat about the pistol category. Sergeant Will, hey, thanks for the super chat. We appreciate it. Just sending you guys some love. Much respect to you all. Sergeant Will, thanks for your support. We love you. We're here for you. And then my favorite one that we just got, Risky. This one's for you, Jay. Here's $5 for Sergeant. Please go get a new hat.
Hey, this hat. So a lot of people don't understand the history behind this hat. Like, you guys probably have hats that look like this, but it's probably on your wall, right? In your office where you keep all your memorabilia. I've had this hat since 2010, and it's been on every single deployment that I've ever been on. And every single firefight I've ever been on, this hat was on my head. And
lucky
till this day,
dog.
Dude, I still think it's my lucky charm hat. And dude, when I almost got shot in the face, I was wearing this hat, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck that helmet. I'm wearing this hat until
probably because you're out of regulations of the target identifier. if you were wearing some little floppier brimmed, maybe
He's the first sergeant. He gets it. Risky, you gave us another $5. Here's $5 more. Buy Stealth Arms Platypus. We would be happy to. I don't know if we can do it with $5, but we're in, brother.
So I want to bring up just a small story because something Ben said a while ago when he was telling his background. One of my best friends, his name's Will Kern. He's on the board of Scout Sniper Association. He's a recon Marine.
I know the name.
You know Will?
I mean, I don't know if I know him, but I know the name, so I might. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he works at Christensen Firearms. Like, he travels everywhere. Like, all they do, he's basically a big salesman. But anyway, he's always telling me how awful his job is. He's like, man, I got to be drunk all the time and go shoot and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, it sounds terrible.
Right.
So he sends me a video this morning, and he's somewhere, and they're letting people shoot a fucking cannon. They're like at a Civil War reenactment, and they got him up there, and he's like, oh, this is just terrible. And I was like, dude, you're at a Civil War reenactment, dressed it up like a fucking general with a sword, and you're going to shoot a cannon at somebody and scream charge.
Is he in Virginia? Somewhere in Virginia?
Yeah, he's up there today right now. He just sent me a video shooting a goddamn cannon.
Nice. Like, what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about?
Right, exactly.
So let's hit this one, and then we'll transition. And this one will go hand in hand with the topic that we just discussed. When no one is watching and no one is there to be your moral compass, how do you guys hold the line when it comes to integrity and knowing what's right and what's wrong? Especially in the era that we live in with social media, so on and so forth. How do you guys know what's right, what's wrong, and what you should and shouldn't do as it relates to integrity? We'll start with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to really just be clear about your values, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to when when you really know what is important to you, what your priorities are, right? What you really want, what you really need. It gets easier to make decisions like that. I mean, I think obviously as you get older, you hope you get wiser. We don't always. we might make some of the same mistakes, but I think one of the best questions that I ask myself, I'll ask clients of mine, and I just talk to people. I think it's really important is what will bring the most meaning and fulfillment into my life. You know, when you look at these things as like a guidepost, right? And I think then your decision making, is that thing I'm going to do, is that going to be in alignment with who I am, or am I going to regret that? Is that, play it out a little bit too. Okay, might be super fun right now, maybe super great, or maybe exciting, but 2 or 3 degrees later, right? 2 or 3 steps later, where does this take me? Is that what I really want? Is that the meaning and fulfillment that I really want in my life? I think one of the things I think is important too, as a commander, and you guys have all done this as leaders, but vignettes, I do this with companies when I work with them, leadership, we do leadership vignettes and talk and say, okay, play this out. You get to this place, you have a chance to make more money doing X. Do we do something that's shady or not? You know what I mean? Or even a travel report. I knew a guy, an example, major financial firm, the world at his feet, young guy, kicking ass, went ahead and acted the fool with his company credit card. This is stuff we talk about in the military, right? With special ops or infantry, doesn't matter. This is a dude at one of the top financial firms, killing it on Wall Street, messes around, and really he was just like, I just got lazy and I just was kind of like balling out, and because of that, lost his freaking job. So you got to get clear about these things ahead of time. Play it out in your head, play the scenarios out, and I think it helps you tactically and practically, but then also theoretically with the values and what brings the most meaning and fulfillment, all this stuff. And it takes effort. It's not easy. Anybody who tells you like, oh, I just, use the force the whole time. You got to work on it, man. You got to work on it.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on that topic?
Yeah, man, I'll just echo kind of what Ben said and then distill it down for me. Like, you have to have principles, man. One of my favorite axioms that I've morphed into something that I can use is like, the statement, are you willing to die on that hill? That's where people kind of like start off. You've got to get to a point where you're willing to kill on that hill. You have to get to a principled position that you can not only defend, but you're willing to take all the slings and all the arrows. I always think about that meme where it's one person and there's a million people standing around him. He goes, yes, you're wrong. In order to maintain your integrity, especially when nobody's there, you've got to have that principle that you just believe inside of your head. And I could do this with anything that you guys want to, any cultural issue that you guys want to throw at me. I can look here and go, no, this is my principled position, and I'm not willing to just die on that hill. I'm willing to kill on it. I'm willing to hold that line no matter what you guys say to me, no matter what price that I pay. I am willing to kill on that hill because I have a principled position. And from there, it's easy. Because then you're putting yourself in that position of like, this is right. These other things are wrong. I will resist those. You don't let evil exist in your space. We kill evil. You don't let monsters live in your house. You kill the monster. And if you get to that position where I am willing to kill on this hill because this is my principled position, integrity follows pretty simply afterwards.
Dave?
For me, I guess I would tell you that it's more about I can echo what they said, or I can say that the name. So I'm big on when people come and you owe the people in front and behind you to make a good reputation for where you came from, what you do. And even working with Vortex, I'm thinking, okay, I can't mess this up because guess what? The guy behind me. Okay, you're automatically saying, I'm not hiring no guys, more military people because I messed it up for everyone behind me. So it's like, I'm going to stay on the straight and narrow as much as I can to make sure I kick the door open for everyone behind me. And then I always tell my son, you are your last name. Like, if you told someone you're going to do it, that is it. So, like, to me, morals are huge because they represent everything you build in your life and then how you act. And if they're not a representation of that and integrity and being honest and just, you meant what you said. And if someone sees you, they know what they're getting out of you. And that's huge to me.
Yeah. And you know what? The military, they take everything away from you in basic training, right? What's the one thing they don't take away from you?
Your name.
Your name. It's the only thing that does
bring up. Was that right?
Soft military, regular military, it doesn't matter, man. You go to basic training, they take everything away. They leave your name.
Bobby?
Okay, so I'm not going to be as eloquent as them, but keep laughing, Aaron. I'm taking classes. Anyway. I'm supposed to be serious today. Stop. Anyway.
Don't be serious. We're not bringing you on here to be serious.
I'm going to give this is the simplest way I can put it on things. If you have to question what you're doing, that's all you need to know right there. The problem with society and the younger generations that I see now, and I'm not saying the older generations are any better, is everybody looks for a way to justify their actions. Well, I did it because so-and-so. Well, I did it because he did that. It don't matter. It's wrong. You knew it was wrong. Don't say because what he did made you do it. It doesn't justify you doing it. I listen to people talk about robbing somebody, and I'm like, that's pretty fucked up. And they're like, well, he's rich. So they justified robbing him because he has financial means. That doesn't make it right. It's the same. Anytime you start getting into women and money, then people start getting into gray areas and trying to find ways to justify their behavior. Well, what I was going to reiterate was everybody's always like, why are you so adamant about this and this and da-da-da? I said, because I only have a name and I only get one of them. If you don't know me from Adam, and I can pick up the phone and somebody will vouch for me, it's because of my name. That's why I'm able to do a lot of the things I'm doing, because I always try to do things right. If I borrow something from you, I'm going to bring it back in better condition. If you ask me to do something and I say, yeah, I'll do it, and you call me, I don't give a damn what we're doing. I'm coming. That's just how it's got to be. And you can look at yourself at the end of the day and say, I did the right thing. You don't have to live with what ifs.
Can I add something to what Bobby just said?
Hell yeah, add a bunch to it.
No, what you just said, you only get one name, but when you think about it, you pass that name down. So as soon as your kids walk in, they're like, so-and-so, oh, that's so-and-so boy. No.
Exactly, right there.
That's an awesome feedback, Bobby. I appreciate that. And for me, it's pretty simple, man. I think like everything, at least me personally, like everything that I'm doing is because I want to leave a legacy and I want to make sure that my last name stands for something, right? And then to tap into what Aaron's mentioned, like what are you willing to die on? Like what hills are you willing to die on? Your non-negotiables, what are they? And as a man, if you don't have anything, then you're screwed, right? Because there's a bunch of different quotes out there that talks about this stuff, right? If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything, right? Like what are your non-negotiables? What defines you as a man, right? In the military, they teach us integrity, honor, courage, and all these other principles. But as a man, you should have a set of rules, a set of morals that you pass on to your son. Right? And if you don't have any, then there's a big problem there, right? So I do think it's very important. And I tell you what, shout out to Ben, because I could see him problem solving. Every time Dave speaks, Ben goes on mute and he listens to Dave on the live stream. So, hey, that is problem solving.
Commander right there.
That's what I'm doing. You're right. You're right. I do. I'm putting to listen to what he's saying, because otherwise it's like the four of you are all like this. I'm just sitting here like, what's going on?
Yeah, I can tell it. I'm like, oh, Ben is problem. So hey, that's special operation at its highest right there.
Hold on, I gotta bring something to this. He's putting him on mute. Ben, you're wearing headphones. We can't hear it if you're on headphones. You can just go ahead. You're on headphones, brother. You don't have to mute it. We can't hear through your headphones onto the mic. You don't. Never mind.
No, it's not. It's not. It's on my phone. So it's on the phone. So it's after my do this. I gotta tell you guys,
figured out tabs yet.
Totally quick.
Bring up multiple tabs.
Not having. That's right. That's a good idea. So I'm watching Eric Thomas, right? The hip hop street preacher, right?
Yeah. And awesome dude.
Like
I listen to him every morning.
He's amazing. I put him on like one of my latest videos. So check out my YouTube channel. Boom.
You didn't watch my Grunt Padre. You didn't watch my Marine Padre, did you?
No, I gotta see him. But so all of a sudden I'm like, what is familiar here? He's like, yelling. I'm like, something's very familiar. And all of a sudden it's like Jake popping up next to me in my mind. I'm like, we gotta get like somehow Jake and Eric Thomas together. We gotta do this, man. This is like, I mean, there's too many. I think Jake could like do a full out imitation of him if he wanted to. You know, there's a lot of similar fire going on right there.
So absolutely.
I gotta bring up something. Did y'all see Tim Kennedy's grifting ass up there with all these disciples? These guys are missing arms and legs, and you can tell this fool has pushed himself inside there.
Yeah, we let it on the episode last week. Not only did we see it, but we looked at the last episode. Go check that out. It's on YouTube right now.
Jesus Christ, man.
Dude, I just got a text message that says Tim Kennedy just got sponsored by Sig. I don't know how accurate that is, Aaron. No. Aaron, if you can fact check that, I don't know.
Yeah, real time fact checking. Here we go.
But you know, I gotta tell you though,
that would be crazy.
I saw some episode from somebody else who's I don't even think he's a military influencer, but picked up on the Antihero podcast and some other stuff, you know, maybe even some of Nate's stuff. But like I listened to that whole thing and like this was like a regular civilian who's just kind of a fan of these channels. And he's got a pretty big channel. I can't remember who it is, but it was really interesting. He was like, man, it's like so many of his fans are coming out now and like no kidding, they're believing that this is wrong, that they can't believe it. But you know, here's the thing. Just like you're talking about the moral high ground, all stuff like that, how do you maintain it? And someone in the chat mentioned incrementally is what happens. So when we put ourselves in these bad situations, you put yourself in situations where, you know, let's say there are drugs, alcohol, things like that are involved. Your decision making isn't as good, but you get also the temptation of success, fame. You know, some people say a story about you, like, you know, combat story, they say it about you. And, you know, you're like, well, that sounds really actually good. That's a combat story, even though that didn't happen. I'm going to let that slide. You know what I mean? I'm going to let that fish story keep growing. Next thing you know, he's on TV. He's getting awards. He got the book. He's like, and the writer's like, that. You said there were 4 Iranians. Yeah, 4. It's a big gunfight. That's hey, man, 4 AK-47s shooting at you, direct fire, effective fire. I don't care if it's 1. If anybody's been on effective fire knows 1's enough. Why is 4? Why not 400, Tim? And he's like, all right, fuck, 400. You know, next thing you know, it's 400. Boom. So I'm just saying, like, the incremental slippage that happens, like, you know, you got to put your foot down at some point.
Nobody holds them accountable.
100%, dude. It's just like in the weird world, right?
If they become too big and have a platform, they will drown out anybody else that ever talks.
It's crazy. So people do weird shit. They do weird shit. Yeah.
So I watched an interesting a piece of motivational content this morning on Instagram, and it talked about the power of words. The power of words. You take guys like Aaron and Ben that are very well spoken, that are, been in the military, made a career out of it. If they are able to articulate their perspective to young-minded individual in a way that connects with them, it doesn't even have to be accurate, and kids will eat that shit up. Yeah, and it's not just military, right? Look at Enron and all these other big businesses that were able to scam people out of their money. The power of speech, can move mountains, right? And all it takes is a military guy that knows how to communicate, and you put him on a stage, and now he's influences millions of people, right? And he poisons their minds, and next thing you know, that's an entire generation that thinks that, even though it's wrong, that the military should, or certain things should be done a certain way.
Well,
right?
and that's the danger, right? And that's what we were talking about with integrity, is it's not just that military guy standing up there. He is co-opting every single person. When Tim, that's why the vet mill bro community, whatever you want to call it, is so mad at Tim, is because he's not just speaking for Tim Kennedy. When I speak on this show, like it or not, I might be the only PJ they've ever heard talk on a subject. I immediately get the credit of this entire beret, every single person that's died for this beret, and every single person that's fought valiantly for this country. I am co-opting their credit, and I'm using their clout to be like, oh, I'm a PJ, look what I did. You cannot do that, man. That is why people are so mad at Tim Kennedy, and that's why you have to be so careful with your integrity, because you are using those other people. You're using a legacy that was not yours. Those seeds were planted before you were born, and now you enjoy the shade of that tree. That's fucking bullshit. That's why people get so mad at it.
I still can't believe sorry, Jay. The craziest thing was that when the anti-hero guys had his whole, not his chain of command, but his teammates on there, his captain. And then the captain was like, he goes, he's talking as though I was some boot captain, just Jerry Captain got there. He was a former NCO for years in special forces. Really, I hadn't heard any of this stuff. Because, I'm just kind of picking it up as I'm on the show with you guys. That's not, you see my channel's, different. It's not about that stuff.
Yeah.
And, so I'm just like, this is really hitting me. I'm like, damn, man, this is for real. But narcissistic personality disorder is a real thing. Narcissistic personality disorder is a real thing.
We don't read the books as much.
Yeah.
I will read some of the Mac v. Sog books, because that's an era in time I didn't know about. And I'm friends with some of those guys now. And it's just amazing to listen to them talk, the things they did before technology. Yeah. But the civilians read these books or whatnot.
And they eat it up.
They eat that shit up, and they believe that's a reality in the world.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I see all the TikTok influencing and all these people talking about they're going to be special operators, And I was like, that is amazing talk while you're sitting in a place of comfort. Okay. And when your ass is starving over there in fucking Sears School and you're freezing to fucking death, it doesn't sound so goddamn glamorous.
Yeah. And the thing that gets me is he'll go on and he'll talk about actual special forces legends, right? He's talking about Roy Benavidez and all these other guys, and now he's tying himself to that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing that gets me the most, and I'm glad we talked about integrity and what hill you're willing to die on, because there's a small few talking about this stuff, and everyone else is seeing it as vets eating their own or vets beefing and accusing other vets. And I'm like, man, you guys don't get it, man. If the power of speech, if we don't bring this to light, there's going to be a whole generation that's going to take that shit and eat it up and think that it's accurate, right? And they paint this picture of vet jealousy and vet this, vet. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I know what hill I'm willing to die on, right? Yeah. I know what my morals and my characters are. At the end of the day, I can sleep at night because I know I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. And the ones that are saying, oh, you're eating your own and all of this, is you don't want to say it because it's going to affect your platform. And whatever. I don't fault you for it, right? And that's
something else is with the big Army guys, and I don't care. Everybody say whatever they want to. I love the 82nd. I learned a lot there. I've seen some amazing guys. A lot of guys move on to special operations from there. They do hold a pretty good standard over there. When I was there, it was pretty tough. Anyway, is when I go to speak out about something that I clearly know about, And to say this person's in special operations, and I was part of an operation where we saved some people. I won't say save them, we did a recovery. And I had to sign paperwork on or whatnot. But when I talk about these events and one of these people have become stars because they made movies and whatnot about them, I get called, I'm jealous. I've been told, I pretty much get silenced because I am not of that tier when they're talking about somebody. So I get silenced. And the only way that anybody can get attention to that is it has to be somebody that is equally as their level or above, if that makes sense. So I can't oust somebody that's a Green Beret. It's going to have to be somebody of their fucking equal or above before people will listen to them.
Right.
You know, and that sucks.
I agree with you. I think we got to the point.
Yeah, all this stuff's really just hitting me right now. And again, I read, like you said, like the Vietnam books, things like that. I've read. I don't want to jump into, you know.
You're good, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't want to be reading about you know, any of this stuff that's like, you know, now, like I'm trying to move on past a lot of this. Like my son asked me, you know, a long time ago, Dad, let's go see what's it, friggin' Lone Sniper or whatever it is, the American Sniper. Well, I don't know what the one. And I'm like, I'm traumatized, man. You know, I go in there, I'm just like, I did it for him, but I was sitting there just, I don't want to be in there. I don't want to watch this.
Absolutely.
You know?
Dave?
Yeah, so I think what you said is hitting the nail on the head, but I think we're in a society, Ben just said that you can't call people out. I don't know when it became wrong to say, I don't care what your background is, a lie is a lie. Yeah. Oh, but is he at your level? Well, is what he's saying is true? I really don't care if he's at the level. Is what he's saying true? And when did society go to the point where you can't call out a guy for lying? I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's writing off the integrity of the Green Beret or the integrity of the SEAL that everybody knows. So everybody looks at that and sees that beret and they're like, that's an honest guy. That's a good guy. Like, da-da-da-da-da.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. You know what? The 82nd Airborne the 82nd Airborne is doing it right. I can't say the same thing about the guys out of 4FID out in Colorado, right? Right. So in a recent article, guys, in Colorado Springs, a gang known as TDA, I'm not sure what TDA stands for.
Tren de Aragua.
Oh, MS-13, right?
No, Tren de Aragua. It's a Venezuelan gang.
Yeah. Gotcha. Labeled as a terrorist organization, was being protected by over a dozen active duty U.S. soldiers. Right. They weren't just lookouts. They were armed, working security for underground club trafficking human beings and drugs. All right. The Army's CID currently has those individuals, and there is a investigation on the way. Bobby, we'll start with you.
Hold on, got a little video on this. We got one from Twitter here, so here we go.
So good morning, John Pullen with DEA and the Rocky Mountain Division. We're here on the scene of an underground nightclub where over 300 federal law enforcement, along with our local partners from El Paso County and Colorado Springs PD, executed an enforcement operation this morning. It's a drug investigation. We seized quite a number of guns. And took a number of people into custody. I think what I'd like for people to know as a result of this operation is that Colorado Springs is waking up to a safer community today.
Bobby, shout out to Peaches in the chat. Peaches, we love you and we appreciate your support. Bobby, how does something like this even happen?
I'll tell you what happens.
Inside a disciplined organization like the military? And what did leaders miss?
I'm going to tell you where all this stems from. One, their asses is not busy enough. Secondly, Joe is fucking always looking to do some shit because they think they're trained to this point and they're in there fucking plotting bank robberies. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I mean, everybody I've ever known, they're like, man, we can do this. And I'm like,
second bat, shout out Money Bat.
Hey, they almost got away though.
Shout out Money Bat.
The other problem with that, like I said, they ain't got nothing to do. Obviously, because if they're working at a damn bar to 2 or 3 o'clock in the damn morning, and I'm going to just go on out a limb and say they were probably hired, which I've already found it. There's a company called Immortal Security Operation LLC. shout out name Yolanda Santiago Crespo that has the damn thing in her LLC that hired these guys. So they may not have known per se that it was human trafficking, but at some point you got to pick up on shit because, I mean, if you're in there armed, why in the hell are you armed at a nightclub for starters? What kind of place is that? And I want to know who the hell gave the safety brief because
Amen.
you're supposed to talk about fucking cocaine. You're supposed to talk about fat bitches. I mean,
cocaine.
And if you do, take a battle buddy. The one thing I'm gonna tell these guys is where they're fucked really is. It's not only CID because they're gonna get a fucking civilian charge and go to court. When they get done with their ass there, they're gonna fucking get some UCMJ action and probably motherfucking go back to jail. All right. So there's no such thing as double jeopardy there. And I'll call their asses out because there's been 7 bars in that area, and I'm gonna name their asses too. The Babylonia Bar on East Platte Avenue, Nova Nightclub, El Huracan, the South Academy Boulevard, all these
Some Army E4 is writing this down as like his bucket list. Like, I got
places to go.
Wait, Bobby, can you spell that first one? What street was that on?
That motherfucker was on East Platte Avenue with 2 T's. Okay. So, you know, they were doing everything in there. They got drugs in this motherfucker. They got human trafficking going on out the back door. They got prostitution, all that shit going on in this one place. If you guys are so highly skilled enough that you think you can stop people with a weapon, you ought to do some goddamn investigating skills and look around with your situational awareness. I just, there's no justification for doing that shit. If you want to do that shit, you need to go somewhere else, take the patch off your damn shirt, because to me, you're just as bad as them, because Trando Agua is one of the worst groups in the world. I mean, they absolutely in the world. They've infiltrated the company. We've had to fight them off at the border already. I'm just going to say me and a couple other dudes tracked down the number 3 leader of Trando Agua in San Antonio. State Department wouldn't tell us how to get our money. I had a camera watching him for a while on the street trying to see when he was coming out that shit. But they wouldn't tell us how we were going to get our money because they told us $5 million involved. Don't do this at home.
Bobby, you a bounty hunter? What are you doing these days?
Hey,
yeah,
man.
I mean, hey, man, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. If he's going to far-flung places of the world looking for remains,
He's like,
it costs money to do research. So
just doing a PI gig on the side. You talk about not having enough to do, motherfucker. You're talking about TDA.
To do, baby. I'm overseas. I'm here. I'm trying to help the world. I'm breaking up shit all day long, and I fucking work on the side some a little bit, Anyway, anyway, the last thing I want to say, and I want to ask this because I don't know, I'm old school, whatever. But they said pink cocaine. What the fuck is that? Like, I ain't never seen no damn pink cocaine. I wouldn't buy that. If you need some goddamn Colombian jet fuel to get you, where you can have a good time.
Ben, turn your camera off. I'm telling you, Ben, it's time, brother.
This is the time.
It's time, bro. No, Bobby is about to give a recommendation.
I take no part in these proceedings.
But seriously, the other part of that, though, is you got Trando Agua there. If y'all don't remember, they're the ones that took over the apartment buildings, that everybody kept saying was fake, da-da-da-da-da. This is in Aurora, Colorado. Colorado Springs was 10th Group there, all these other places, and they're actively taking over fucking buildings. And it happened. It was real. We find out later. The media tried to say it was fake, and you got everybody arguing, all this is fake. It didn't really happen. And we know now that it was 100% real. You take that with all the amount of munitions that are getting picked up on the road down there. They're pulling over people that's having, I think they pulled over a guy that had 180,000 rounds in his vehicle. These are illegals. Shit. And they're not leaving the fucking country. They're going somewhere in Colorado. So at some point, you're going to fuck around and have a deal over like they did in Philadelphia back in the day where they had to burn a goddamn street block down. You know what I'm saying? You're going to.
That's wild. Now, Ben, putting on your commander hat, like, what are you doing as a company commander for these guys? Are you emphasizing more a strict awareness on the safety brief? Or are you being more active? Or are you telling your NCOs to be more active in the lives of these guys? Like, how are you handling this?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, right, we got to, deliver some swift justice. I mean, just depending on like the level of performers, what actually happened. But, if they've been doing things and it's, the evidence is very clear after, due process and you actually do an investigation, but you got to drop the hammer, man, because, the culture is enforced by what you tolerate, right? What do you reward? What do you punish? What are the symbols you hold on to? What's the narrative within your company, within your organization? What are the things you say to yourselves as a team that you'll do? And what won't you ever do? What are you loyal to? All these things like that. And so if good order and discipline is important to you, which it always is in the military, especially combat, organization, right? Combat arms organizations, the hammer must be dropped. And, this has got to be spread throughout the organization that, guess what, motherfuckers? I told you so, right? And so the command's going to do what they're going to do. And then the, senior enlisted leaders and the junior enlisted leaders are going to go through CNC. We're going to reward good behavior, punish bad behavior. I told you not to go, corporal level, sergeant level, are going to say, told you. Okay. Now you want to be like them? Guess what? They're banging their friggin', their little, canteen cups against the bars right now, and they're gone.
Man, we lost everybody when we come back from Afghanistan in 2002 from drugs, cocaine. I mean, everybody. We lost everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to do it. The thing is, you can't all of a sudden slide and say, "Oh well, not anymore." It's okay that you decide to do drugs now, and you decide to do carry weapons. You decide to work with a gang. I mean, I don't care if there's one person left. Fleece it, man. You got to fleece it. Good order and discipline. Get rid of them. Prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. Drop the friggin' hammer, dude. You got to do it. I mean, do full investigations, see who's enabling it, cooperate fully and build your culture the way it needs to be. And like Bobby's saying, if you need to go burn that place down, you burn it down. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously we can't do that right now, but I'm saying metaphorically, yeah, you got it. You got to create. Here's the thing. And I don't always like to talk about, big brother, comrade Stalin, but like Joseph Stalin said it. He ran 100 million people through fear and terror. He said, terror is a great educator. He terrorized the crap out of his country. That's it. And he terrorized the crap out of all of Eastern Europe. But it's true. It's true. If you can't make people respect these laws, these young guys, if they're not afraid of what the consequences are. If they're like, yeah, you're a pussy, you're not going to do them. It's parenting too. You got to hammer people. I mean, you got to do it. It's out of love.
Fear has always been stronger than love of what I've seen. You know what I mean? It will control the masses.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. So I mean, I think for that, and then I think obviously Bobby's joking, but he's right. The safety brief has got to be good, but it's also got to be like, hey, this is your safety brief, dude. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you, I'm gonna fucking crush you if you do it. Don't force my hand, because you know what? This is tough love, but I love doing it, and I'll drop the damn hammer. I'm letting you know right now. So if you're gonna go out and do that, just know you've been forewarned. So when you come in here, I can feel really good about just crushing you. No problem, right? No problem. Good to go. That's what you want. That's what you choose. Boom. You admit your guilt. I find you guilty. Crushing. That's it. So, I mean, I think that's what's got to happen. I think, again, you got to let the junior enlisted and, mid-level, enlisted leadership, senior enlisted leadership. Obviously, they're going to pull this aside and be like, look, you're making things suck for us and making us look bad, and you're making life suck for me. So I'm going to make life suck for you. Guess what?
Can you smoke dope in the Army yet? I don't know. I haven't seen
California, you can.
They talk about it being medicinal and shit. I didn't know if they would give people their cars and they just glaucomas and.
This is a good point, man. This is a good point.
Glaucoma.
Yeah,
you can do cocaine, pink cocaine, not
no.
white.
I don't do Himalayan salt or whatever they call that shit. I think that stuff what the white was making was fucking blue. That methylene blue. That's what it was. Methylene blue.
But to Ben's point, so as a father, like I
holy
always
shit, Dave, you're here. Sorry, man.
Oh shit.
What is wrong, y'all? What is wrong with all of y'all?
I love how I finished today's episode. Bobby's like, can we smoke weed in the Army yet?
Hey, man.
Oh man, but like I was saying, love, fair, respect. So those are three things that I want to get out of my son, right? I want him to love me, I want him to respect me, and I want him to fear me, right? Because I want him to know at any given time with the fair aspect of it, like, hey, you haven't seen it yet, but if I need to, like, I will do what I need to do to make sure that, hey, as a man, like when you when you disrespect other men, like more than likely, violence is what's going to occur, right? I'm not going to say I'm going to beat his ass, but they need to understand, even in a leadership position, love, fair, respect. If they have those three things, they'll do anything for you, right? They'll do anything for you. But Dave, what are your thoughts on what's going on in now? I don't know if it's 4th ID. I'm just saying Colorado Springs, but 4th ID is the big unit out there, and of course you have 10 group. Fuck around, it might just be a bunch of temps, SF dudes, right? Like we don't know the unit of those guys yet.
Wouldn't put it past them. Remember 3rd and 7th with that brag. I've seen a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
So I'll take it a different angle, and because when you said look into it, I've started looking into it. I was like, well, they say 1 to 2% of the military's in gangs or something like that's recent. They were like, that's 50 to 80 times more than society, like numbers wise. And I was looking at that, and I was like, well, why wouldn't we think that all the military is a small microcosm of like society? So like when you say like, hey, you got people even in the military that have no moral compass, that have no integrity or what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, just because, and I'm a firm, just because you get a SF tab or you PJ or whatever, that don't change who you are, you know? So if you were willing to do it immoral things and didn't have love for the country before, you don't have love for the country now, you just happen to pass the schools. So, yeah. I mean, that's what I said on that. I think that it needs to be a course correction, most definitely, with the whole unit and everyone. I'm a firm believer in firing fucking people. So I have no problem being like, hey, I also am a firm believer in not punishing his leadership, because I'm like, how was I supposed to know? It's a Saturday night, you calling me, and when I was in the 82nd, you calling me telling me this dude got a DUI. What was I supposed to do about it, bro? What was I supposed to do at home with my wife and kids? How the hell was I supposed to know he went to the club? So I don't believe you punish his leadership, but we got to do a course correction. And it's like, yo, did you know? Yep, you're gone. No, you know? Yep, you're gone. Hey, you knew he was at the bar? Hey, you were in charge. You're fucked up. You're gone. And if you do, you got to, I'm a firm believer in sometimes people have to know who has the biggest stick. And I do a lot of stuff if I don't think your stick can do any harm to me. Hey, it don't matter. What he's gonna do about it? Once I know,
they got a big ass sign out there at the 82nd that says how many days till fucking an accident. That son of a bitch ain't never got past about 2 weeks.
No,
that shit is
no. But guess what? If you run on our games, they're gonna make you do push-ups.
Hey, you don't want to come down on a blotter report. Like, I would rather go to fucking jail. Like, it's way better.
Yeah, and that's where we're at, is where like the whole society in a whole is at that, from like kids disrespecting adults to everything in between. Like, we have no fear of repercussions. And if you fear the repercussions, it keeps your ass in line.
So many people and parents on the kid thing, and I'll say this, I'll stop, Aaron, but the fucking thing with the kids, I just want to reiterate this, is I hear so many parents talking about, I don't want my kid to have to go through what I did, and they end up becoming buddies and friends and setting them down a bad path. And I tell them all the time, I was like, everybody focuses so hard to give their kids the things that we didn't have, but we forget to give them the things that we did. So discipline and things of that sort. And what I say is, my father terrified me to the point, goddamn, I heard him pulling in the driveway. I'm like, what the fuck have I done? Have I done some shit? But when I would fuck up, I had to think about them repercussions, because I knew what was coming if I got caught. I'm
gonna tell your daddy. Oh shit.
Oh shit, right. That used to mean something, dude. I'm gonna tell your dad. Man, when I heard my dad, there were a couple times my mom was like, hey, I already told your dad when you get home, like, your shit's fucked up. And I would hear he drove a dumb little like Chevette, if you guys remember what those cars were back in the day, a Chevy Chevette. Man, when I heard that car pull in, I was like, there was fear. There was that, oh no, I messed up. Yeah, and I think we're lacking that.
Yep.
And that's where that fair aspect comes in, right? Like, oh, your dad's gonna find out. Oh, I respect him enough to know that, oh shit, when he gets home, he's gonna whip that ass, because I also fear, like, it all comes in, like, it all fits together.
Y'all didn't get them out of breath beatings on the floor. You know what I mean? they hitting you with a tire iron or whatever they can grab, you know. And,
tire iron.
Don't cry that shit. If you keep crying, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. You know?
Jake Zwig will straight up harpoon your ass. We know that for a fact.
Man, Aaron, what are your thoughts on this? And then you can take it over and then finish it off for us.
Yeah, I got it, man. So, I mean, I don't agree that, you know, the Army and the military in general has this big problem with if one person poops their pants and everybody wears a diaper, right? Like, we love just peanut butter spreading punishment across it. But there is some times where it's necessary. And this is one of those times, just like Ben said, man, you've got to establish what we're looking for here is deterrence. It works in the larger military space, right? Like, there's a reason why people don't fuck with America, because we will fuck your shit up. That deters you from doing dumb shit. And, you know, you have to do that on a tactical level as well. And you have to establish this line, just like Ben was saying, because you have to deter other people. You have to make an example out of these people. Maybe you do have to punish everybody. Maybe somebody does need to get in their Class A's and they go out to that sign and they put a little, they used to do this at Kadena Air Base because people would go off on the mainland Japan and get fucked up and have a DUI. There was a sign and they would make you get, and we had PJs that had to do this until there was another person that got a DUI. You were changing that sign with a new number every single day, because every single person that saw you, and by the way, the PJ that had to do this, his team would show up every morning, they'd be PTing and they would just clown him. They'd be like, yeah, change that number, you fucking dork. But that deters people because they don't want that. You have to do that in this case. And we're talking about that. I mean, the highest standard, man. These people were protecting human traffickers. They were protecting people that were selling people into sex slavery. I don't have any love of like, I'm sorry. You know, that was wrong. I don't give a shit. There is no, well, we got hired by an LLC and we didn't know. You had a fucking gun and you were protecting the sale of children into sex trafficking. You can go fuck yourself. Fuck around and find out. I fucking had it. We're going to clean up some group chats or some super chats here. So this seems like a good time to let everybody know. Make sure to go over to Ben's leadership group. Ben, when is the leadership group and how can people join it?
So I've got my membership. Yep. It's my link is in the bio in YouTube, also on Instagram, and you can go ahead and check that out. And everything, when you go through there, you can see all the details on it. But once a month, I have like an hour-long coaching session that's live. And I've got a community as well, too, really lively community. And I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So, yeah, please go ahead and check that out. But we meet monthly for the group coaching session. And then the community is all the time with challenges, things like that. And there's replay. You can replay the session if you can't make it. And also have downloadable content as well, too, including my presentation I used to teach from. So please check that out.
Hell yeah. We got a couple just saying, hey, things are good. The conversation is fire. I appreciate all of you guys. From my boy Fish and Relaxing, he actually gave us one super chat, and then he gave us another one saying, hey, sorry, maybe a couple too many beers and some fat fingers here, but he's talking about integrity. He says, oh, this hurts, so no one can. I'm going to read it word for word. Here we go. Incremental is the issue. Oh, this hurts. No on-eens can be if it me. Last time was okay, so let me slide on this thing now. Before you lost it, you lost all integrity and morals over time. Morals are a red line. That's good.
And my man is drunk. My man is drunk.
You only got so many goddamn letters you can use. He got to slim it up. I understand where you're coming from. Come on with you. We fucking balling on a budget.
Everything he said. I agree with everything he said.
I did. Yeah, 100% agree. M. Corbin, that was good shit. Thanks very much, man. We appreciate you as always. Thanks for the super chat. So we're going to go on to this next one here. So a little political update for you. So President Trump had a little hiring and firing going on. Trump 2.0 hasn't done a whole lot of this in the first 100 days. So as we know, Trump ousts White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, replaces him with Rubio. Waltz is a former Green Beret. He was a good admin ad. I have my problems with Waltz and his stance on Iran and some other stuff that he's doing, but this was all over the Signalgate issue. Waltz and Alex Wong, which is one of his staffer, the reports came out initially that they were fired. Turns out he got promoted. He's now the UN ambassador. Rubio is going to fill in as the NSC chair until they can find somebody to get it. When I have a problem, I call up Marco. He gets it solved, Trump said at a White House event earlier on Thursday.
That dude got 5 fucking jobs, bro. He's got 5 jobs.
Ain't that the guy that small hand Marco Trump called?
Lil Marco Rubio. I know.
Marco. He goes, okay, Big Don.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him in for the Pope. They ain't fucking got a Pope
nice.
yet. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. Dave, you're kind of leaning into this conservative space too. The admin has been chaotic. Nobody can say that. But when you're dealing with, the last 4 years of the administration, it's the first 100 days. There's a lot of impatience that's going on in America right now. Everybody wants everything all the time. We want the Epstein list. We want the RFK files. We want everything to be magically fixed all the time. Do you think that this is more chaos? Do you think it was a good move? And most importantly, is this signal chat issue fucking dead now that we actually at least ceremonially put some people out to pasture?
I do think that since he fired him and he's the one that said he did it, it should go away. Like, I fired the guy that made the mistake. So if he wanted me to do something, I did something. I told you I'm a fan of firing. So yeah, if you make a mistake and it's a big enough mistake, it's either one or two options. Either option one, you don't think it's a big deal. Okay. If you think it's a big deal, which I think someone had to get fired leaking it. I've seen people get fired for a lot of stuff in the military, from red side computers, all this. So leaking some secrets, yeah, you probably should get fired, and it should go away. But as for your second part of the question is, I don't see it being a fix for what's going on in society now. Like, someone's gonna complain that he didn't do it soon enough. You can't make people happy, even though you do actions. And guess what? All of us know from being in situations, whether it's combat or just in leadership positions as instructors or whatever, that I can't make snap judgments. My decisions have to be calculated and let me think about all the angles, because guess what? There are third and fourth and fifth order effects to everything I do. If I fire this dude, now someone has to do his job. And isn't Marco Rubio also doing the border czar stuff?
He is.
So now he has to do. So now he has to do two jobs. So now this man's doing
Marco's
jobs.
going home right now. He's and his family's like, well, Marco. He's like,
Yeah.
I love how you put just a hint of accent on there, because Marco Rubio is Cuban. You're like, oh, Marco, why are you working?
I see the news do it all the time. Every time I say somebody's name, it's Latino, they got to fucking get an accent. But nobody do the Scottish one. Jim O'Flaherty was
that would be Irish, but good try, Bobby. I always appreciate your input.
I thought it was Italian.
I do love me some imitations, though.
I do. I want to put this out there. Gooch Parm actually had a funny super chat. I refreshed the window and I neglected to do it earlier. But Gooch Parm, he said, hold on, Big Sarge. You mean to tell me that these strippers down at Fort Bragg don't actually love me? They do not. And that 28% charger loan over 76 months, that ain't the best for you either.
Let me talk to y'all about that. If y'all gonna do it, and I went and looked up the other day to see if it was still there, and they fucking took away a goddamn cherished place in Fort Bragg. There was an Asian shopping center over there, and you could get that rub and tug, you know what I'm saying, and be up and out of there. The oil will be nice and warm, in and out, it's cheap, affordable. I looked that shit up the other day on Google's Maps. They turned it into a goddamn bingo hall.
All right, Ben, this one's for you. So I have a lot of conversations with Nate from Valhalla VFT. He's not on here too. And he is highly contrarian to all this stuff. He wants outputs right away. And I'm constantly telling him like, hey man, you got to give it some time. We're trying to figure it out. But people do want stability. If you had if you're king for a day, and you could give a word to the Trump admin and be like, hey, this is how you're going to provide stability for folks, what would you say?
Oh boy. Stabilizing as far as the optics and just overall everything. I mean, I think, so I'll say this. I think the president, rightfully so, he reads, he can read the tea leaves and the temperature, and he's, reads the room really well. And I think he knows the economy is the most important thing. I mean, a long time ago, you've heard it many times, it's the economy, stupid, right? I mean, and he knows that's what people really love him for, because he's this baller businessman and he just has great business sense. Hey, whatever you want to say. Okay, he failed, he didn't fail, he bankrupt. Okay, the guy's the president now 2 times. Okay, he's pretty freaking successful, pretty much a badass, right? And he's been through everything. And so, I mean, I think he's wisely creating stability in the number one place, because one of the things I do teach and I talk about all the time are something called the core vital human interests. Okay. And so we have out in the, the national security space, we have the core vital interests of a nation state, but we have core vital human interests too. Economic prosperity goes for a nation state. It also goes for a human being. And so if we take away your ability to feed your family, provide basic stability through an economically oriented world, people are going to be going nuts. So he's smartly, first of all, providing stability, by starting to negotiate really with the tariffs, things like that, having some flexibility. We're seeing the response in the marketplace now. things are stabilizing that way. The next thing is I think he's wisely with Tim Waltz. He's holding someone accountable. And yes, it's a soft relief. You're getting promoted to be the UN ambassador, but he's not in the White House anymore. So he's showing that, hey, I'm taking action with this. Because, at the end of the day, honestly, he should have said something. He should have said something to the SecDef, who's running and gunning, man. He's not, how busy. Can you imagine how busy he was? I was busy as a battalion commander. I can't, Secretary of Defense. I can't even friggin' imagine. And so this guy just goes along with it instead of saying, wait a minute, boss, hold on. Like you said, Aaron, there's certain things we're not going to do on this hill right now. You can't use signal because it's going to send a bad message, bad optic. We're going to get screwed. We can't do that, okay? And then not investigating who the hell is on the list as well, too. So I think the president's wisely doing something, provide stability, provide confidence that, I'm taking action on these things. And every now and then, take a breath and slow down. Take a breath, slow down. As we say, slow the battlefield down, right? Try to slow it down. It goes so fast all the time in battle, business, and life, but you got to slow it down to make the right decisions and ask yourself, are we doing the right things, and are we doing things right? Those two variations of the question matter a lot, and that's what I would say. Yeah.
Jay, this guy was a Green Beret. We had high hopes for him when we got in there. I was happy to see that we had a soft operator that was in one of these high positions. Man, how are you feeling about Tim Waltz leaving that position? Do you think it was the right move? And then how do you think this affects, other GWAT veterans? Do you think that there's any fallout or second or third order effects from watching a Green Beret get in this position? And then straight up, he was fired. He was removed from his position and put somewhere else. Do you think that affects further GWAT vets from getting into high positions like that?
Well, I think as a leader, you have to lead by example. So even though he was a Green Beret, he should know as a military guy, when you mess up, there's repercussions, right? So I'm glad President Trump did it. And I want that to be an example to all the other vets out there. Like, hey, man, like this is how it should be, right? You mess up regardless of titles, of what you used to do. But whatever the position is, if you mess up, a leader like President Trump needs to hold somebody accountable. Unlike the previous administration, there was all sorts of mess ups going around and no one was getting fired, right? So I think he's setting a precedence, and it sucks to see, a GB get fired. But at the end of the day, as a GB, he's probably been fired before, right? Because hell, we mess things up all the time, and we, regroup, we reorganize, and then we work our way back up, right? So even though he got demoted, he's still within the organization, right? Now, all he has to do is work his way back up. But I tell you what, this actually does to the cabinets itself and to the other folks that are around Trump. It lets them know that, hey, Donald Trump is still Donald Trump, right? He still fires people. So we need to get our shit together before we get fired. Because his first term around, like he fired a bunch of people. General Mattis.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. General Mattis was a freaking beast, right? And he got rid of him just like that. So now everybody's probably like getting their P's and Q's together, like, oh, I need to make sure I do the job and do it to the best of my ability, or else I'm going to get fired. So I think it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just go back. My only take on this, I'll say the same thing that I said exactly when it broke. Don't give a shit. Fire whoever. Don't care. If they were wrong, fire them. Move on. I don't want to talk about this. We got more important stuff to do. More important stuff.
I got to tell my part. I got my part.
Here we go.
That's
fucking Bobby.
You went last. I want to say my part. All right. I'm going to give, if y'all don't remember, I'm going to give Tim Waltz a little bit of credit. When this shit come out and they were trying to blame him, he said, I'll take responsibility.
Yep, he did.
It's my fault. I did it.
Yeah.
So he was standing up, putting his hand up. He's saying, I'll take what comes my fucking way.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go over and remind a motherfucker to fire me, but I'm saying, hey, I did it. You know what I mean? But you asked, what could we do to change things for the better right now if I was in the administration? My simple thing I would do, and I've noticed this because I turned my cell phone off for about 6 months one time. The first couple weeks, you miss it. After that, your life gets better because you find more time to focus on the things around you and you become more focused and oriented aware. I think that they need to remove all the 24-hour fucking media. There's no reason to have media on 24 hours a day. People watch, talk about shit they don't know. Media nowadays is not journalism anymore. It is more fucking set on opinion. People are being hired that are lazy as fuck. They don't know the facts. They don't know them themselves. So they just basically sound like a damn parrot, and they're putting their propaganda out. Basically, I can get on the media and change the channel to whatever formation I want it to stay, or basically what ideology I want. Do I want to hate Trump? Do I not want to hate Trump? And that's what I can do. I have a fucking flavor of choice 24 hours a day on there. Same with X and all that shit. And it just needs to go away, and people will go back to living and not be so goddamn hostile all the time, because we don't need 350 fucking million people trying to tell us about foreign affairs.
Yeah. Yeah. The experts everywhere. They were, biolab experts, and then they were pandemic experts, and then they were just recently economic experts. It's too much. I hate it. You're all just retards with a cell phone.
Tariffs!
Oh yeah, exactly. Couple super chats. M. Corbin just saying, hey you right back, buddy. And then Bobby, one comment from Fish Fish Are Relaxing. Bobby, that oil was so good for the complexion. Talking about them strippers.
That shit's warm, and it's not a stripper. It's an Asian woman. It it goes quick, and they know just how long to put the goddamn microwave on that stuff. I bought a gallon.
Speaking of real quick, Aaron, I just want to people are mentioning in the chat about the ambassadorial position. I mean, understand this is ceremonial, right? So we're saying like he got promoted. I mean, this is full out. Anybody that's inside government knows it's a soft relief. That's when you see like somebody in the military, they get fired from a position, and all of a sudden they move over to do another job, and you're like, well, what are they doing? They're just put away without cutting their head off and kicking them out totally. So yeah. He has no effect really on anything right now, but he was
the head of the NSC, guys. Yeah, being the UN ambassador is not a promotion.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, he served well. He put his hand up and said, I did it. He didn't do anything so egregious that's like warrants him being, sent away to the land of broken toys. So they're removing him from any position of influence in national security and putting him into a position where he's, he can still serve in the government, albeit he's really not going to do anything. So hopefully that gives a little color commentary there.
And that brings us to the last story of the day. We are so fucking back. June 14th, President Trump's birthday. We got a parade coming. There's even going to be some parachute jumps. So nearly 7,000 troops, tanks, and parachute jumps. The Army confirms the military parade coinciding with Trump's birthday. The parade will involve some 6,600 soldiers, tanks, and infantry vehicles, helicopter flyovers, parachute jumps, according to several people familiar with the planning of the effort. This will also occur on President Donald Trump's 79th birthday. Jay, Army guy, dog and pony show, baby. How you feeling about this military parade?
Dude, we need to bring that shit back.
We don't have enough.
We don't have enough military parades. Like
it should be what Pakistan does. Them motherfuckers be doing cartwheels and shit down the street. I'm down. Let's go.
Hey, get Mama Son in them over there, right? But no, we don't do that shit enough, man. I think it would be we need to show the American people what pride looks like, what pride and admiration looks like for the military and for the country, right? Because I feel like we're slowly losing it. And I think bringing back parades and hell, man, we have the Macy's Day Parade. Look how many people show up for that shit, right? Like, let's do military parades at least once a year, and just 4th of July, right? Like, let's bring it back and showcase Americans' greatness, patriotism, and all of that, man. Like, I'm all about it, man.
Yep. So, I'm just happy to finally see a parade in June that I can take my fucking kids to. Dave is thanks everybody. That was a gay pride joke. Yep. Hey, Dave is a regular Army dude that started off, and Bobby, this is going to be the same question for you. We're just starting with Dave. Regular Army guy. I know how dog and ponies go, man. There's going to be, E4s just jocked up, static line jumping, for this event. How do you think the rank and file military is going to take this parade?
Oh, truthfully, I thought when we had to do the 82nd parade and stuff, I was like, this is bullshit. 4 days of practice for this.
Yeah, right. Because it's never just the event. You got to do your basic airborne refresher. You're standing out in the sun. You're like,
that ain't it, baby. Pass and review is the motherfucker.
Yeah, when you're there for 3 days practicing, your boots knocked out. I was like, this is so much. But I'm a big I would prefer this to sound probably. Wow, but I would prefer if you brought up Pakistan, how Pakistan's in India, they have basically they do a DNC off on across the board.
Oh, that's the best. That is the best.
We need to do Marine Corps, Army, everyone. I would be down for something like that during the parade. Be like, okay,
let's go.
Let's see who got the best DNC.
The Marines are crushing. That's not fair. Ben Pappas right now. Ben just can't wait to jump in and just be like, fuck you. We can outmarch it. Bobby.
Anybody remember that stuff? I don't know.
Right.
But
column left, column right. I'd be fucking that shit up.
Yeah, Bobby, how you feel about dog and ponies, man? You think the troops are about this, or you think it's just another thing they got to do?
Me or me? Is it me?
Yeah, that's why I said Bobby.
Okay, I'm gonna just tell you, Joe's gonna hate it.
He said, Bobby, he meant Ben.
Hate it because they're gonna practice the hell out of this shit because you're in front of the world. But you are in front of the world is why you want to practice. Yep. If you go back and look at when the guys come back from World War II and they come down the streets, man, ticker tape, fucking looking sharp, standing tall. I mean, that's something you will remember later and be glad you were part of it. When the guys go to Normandy every year, the 82nd,
I've jumped there, baby.
Into Normandy.
I jumped into Normandy. It was the most proud I've ever been to be an American walking in that parade on the way back.
Next year, we're going to jump from the Place de Lassie by Tours of Duty.
Don't you dare threaten me with a good time. I'll go.
Fucking anniversary, so we're going to jump with the 82nd Airborne, of course.
I'm jumping free fall though. Fuck static line.
I don't give a damn how you jump. I'll strap to the front of you, dog. What you want to do?
Save your knees.
Naked. We got to wear no clothes.
Save your knees.
You want that T10 Bravo, man?
That's
let you
all I
run
want,
with the
man.
wind and smack yourself.
But anyway, what I was getting at is these are things that suck at the time, but you'll have a story later in life. 82nd Airborne has a All-American Week coming up this next month. You go do a run. All the former guys come from the units will come and stand down the street, cheer you on. Used to throw you beer. They won't let you do that shit no more. They have a memorial up there for the GWAT guys. There's the World War II memorial, all that stuff. And then you also have the battalion and the battalion games, like we're talking about going against each other. I don't know what games they got nowadays, but I'm going to tell you the one back in the day was push ball, okay? If you've ever been involved in push ball, it's a fucking free-for-all is all it is. They put a big ball out there in the middle. You put on your armor, basically, so nobody stabs through your shit. And then you go out there and free-for-all in a Royal Rumble. It's a good time. It builds camaraderie. So I think it's something they need to do, and this is things we need to do more of often and start gathering people and becoming human again instead of using fucking telephones.
Now, and it's a good way to build. Sorry, Aaron. It's a good way to build heroes. It's a good way to show young men and women like what right looks like as far as hero building machines. Right? Showcase the military. Showcase sharpness, fit, leadership. Put it on the world stage. Right? Showcase that shit so young Bobby or young Dave or young Aaron or young Ben watching on television could be like, oh, I want to be like that when I grow up. Instead of showing all the other crap that's on television nowadays.
These motherfuckers with them goddamn raggedy ass goat beards. I'm just.
So Ben, we already talked about it earlier, but the specific question I want to ask you, because you always bring great input to this, is that it's not just kids watching at home. These kids that have been on TikTok and see Taliban going down Bagram Air Force Base, Bagram Airfield with $7 billion worth of our equipment. Yeah. Our competitors are watching this too. Do you think that this is a stage to present military might from America?
I change everything, every opinion and everything right now. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. This is what we need to do. Seriously, change the strategy. Everyone, call Nate, call Jake. We got to let Tim Kennedy blow the stories up bigger. Tim Kennedy is going to save us. It was 4,000 Iranians. It was 500 grenades. You want the kids to join? Say, yeah, that's what people do. They'll get him. He's in the UFC. This is the guy. That's what we got to do. Forget the parade, man. Blow the story up bigger. Let him run with it. Let him. Don't deny it. Be like, that's how it is. That's how we all are. We could all go to the UFC if we want to. Fucking let it roll, man. This is how we influence operations. I'm gonna co-opt Tim Kennedy now.
You can't have a fucking mohawk with a goddamn receding hairline. Like,
all right. So here's a couple of things real quick. One, I'll give two quick good stories. So parades, right? Let's talk about the Naval Academy pass and review. People are in these wool ass uniforms. They pass out. A guy fell on his friggin' bayonet, went through his neck and like almost killed him. He's like bleeding everywhere, like out of control, all for a bunch of VIPs that come over. They have 4,000 midshipmen out there to do this, Civil War style marching. And literally people passing out. Okay, that's one fond memory of parades. Number two, you're talking about the push ball. Anyone ever played combat soccer? Combat soccer was a favorite Marine Corps pastime back in 29 Palms, California, where you would take a pillowcase, load it up with your favorite heavy items, and you put your combat boots on, a flak jacket, and you run around and you could use this as a weapon like a mace and fucking killing each other as you try to score in their team. Good times. And it goes along the same with with isomat boxing, which would happen on the fantail of a ship usually, where two people get down, isomats in each hand, and beat the crap out of each other. So these are all fun activities. The last thing I'll say is this. I'll say that no one, and you know this, in the operating forces likes to do a dog and pony show. Nobody ever likes this crap. No one thinks it's a good idea, except when they have to be told, when they're told they have to do it. Nobody wants to rehearse for it. Everyone thinks it's a waste of time, all that stuff like that. So is there a good place for it? Yeah, it's good to have a good ceremony. The only thing I really question how wise it is to let this parade coincide on the day of President Trump's birthday. Is it the Army's birthday? Is it his birthday? Like, what are we doing here? Is it Armed Forces Day? Like, what is the? Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, it's too, you know, it's getting too close to personal type favor,
dictatorship.
So, you know, I can't agree with hearing it's a good idea, because first of all, nobody wants to do it. Don't let anyone lie to you. You fucking know right now. If I was the commander and I was like, hey guys, fucking come on, everyone, bring it in. This is how it go. Yeah, I wouldn't even be looking at you in the eyes. I wouldn't be looking in the eyes. But they're like, oh fuck, we know here it comes, because Pappas is looking us in the eyes. Hey, yes, how's it? Everything good? How's your? Oh, that was pretty funny. Okay. Guess what? We got a fucking dog and pony coming. Everyone's got to be there. We're gonna train for like fucking 10 days for it. You guys would be like, what? What's there? How could this happen? What bullshit? That's how it's gonna go, and that's how it's going right now. People are like, what? So I don't think it's currying good favor with the military personally for me. Unless everything's changed and the psyche's changed totally. And I don't now, if you say it's Armed Forces Day or it's the Army's birthday, got it. It just happens to be President Trump's birthday too at the same day. Easy. But what I'm seeing is that's not the case. That's not what I'm seeing as the actual dates. So what we're doing is feeding into the opposition's narrative, you know, that's not good. I say what they're doing is feeding into the opposition's narrative. So, you know, just me. I would say make it Armed Forces Day. Make it about, you know, something else, Army's birthday, but you can't say it's on the president's birthday. You could just say.
I didn't even realize that till you said it. That makes it a whole different deal for me.
What about a parade as battalion commander? Guys, we're doing a parade, and my wife and kids are coming. We're gonna fucking do a passing review here because it's my birthday. Yeah, I'd be voted off the aisle. I'd be killed. I'd be fragged. Like that. Watch this. I'll just. Oh, where did that happen? He ND'd with a grenade. I don't know why he had the grenade from the range. Now he's gone. New guy. XO's up. Yeah. You know?
That's a good point. All right. So we have 2 super chat. We'll hit real quick and then we'll go from there. Right. So this one is from New Bob Dole. Been feeling better on 1,000 units of vitamin D3. What are y'all's other supplements, recommendations, and dosage? I know I'll start with myself. So I take fish oil every day. And then I take a green drink every day. Yeah. Catfish oil. How about you, Ben? Like, do you take any vitamins that you want to share with new Bob Dole?
Yeah, I take a super greens type mix. I put that into my shake every day. I take a multivitamin. I do the vitamin D, vitamin K. You know, I used to take the animal pack for bodybuilding, pretty good.
Too much.
Dude, back in the days, I used to crash.
It's really good.
You're supposed to take 2 of those packs. You know that? Like
100%, man. I use the powder, but even the powder is so intense. Like, you know, you'll be popping off. You got to work out hard, try the thing. But definitely multivitamin, just basic GNC Sport. A super greens, I put that into my shake. I use creatine for sure, vitamin D, vitamin K, some other stuff like that. But I always keep those basics, and I feel a difference when I train. I feel a difference when I work out. You know, I think supplements make a big difference. Arginine, all that stuff like that opens your blood vessels, vasodilator, citrulline. I do a pre-workout too. You know, shoot, I had this little puppy, this Seabum's new energy drink here. Well, while I was on here, and this is like some neurotropic stuff. But yeah, I believe supplements help. They really do. People that don't think they do, you haven't been using them. I don't know. Check your energy levels and see. So I don't think you want to overdo caffeine though. I do a fair amount of caffeine, but you can definitely overkill the caffeine. So use some of these other things and sleep. You got to sleep and you got to hydrate. You got to sleep. If you're not sleeping, nothing's going to make you feel good if you're not sleeping.
Dave?
I take creatine, BCAAs, and then my doc put me on a vitamin S.
Nice. What's vitamin S?
I'm fucked. Like, yeah,
What?
Shit, I might need me one of them. I'm like, what is that?
you know what I, no.
Oh shit! Hey, whatever vitamin S is, I gotta figure out what that is. I've never heard of vitamin
CCs or what? Like,
Put me on. So I found out I had low T, and then I
got you.
I know what he was getting at. I know what he was saying. I know what he was saying.
I got you. I got you. Bobby, you're probably taking all sorts of shit, aren't you?
No, I don't take all that shit now. I used to because I used to look like a goddamn gorilla. But anyway, and that's not a good thing, guys. Just so you know, you walk around the damn mall and be tired because you need about a mile of blood vessels for every pound you put on. Anyway, I do take a green supplement. I know all of us don't eat enough greens, whatnot. They're very good for detoxifying the body, good for the digestion system. So you need to go in there and clean up. Me, I don't drink coffee. A lot of people do. I do like coffee when I can get it in from foreign countries or whatnot. Hopefully Jake's going to send me my new shipment. I'm not so much big into all these things. If you don't need them, don't take them is what I say. A lot of people get stuck in this multivitamin ordeal. You expel more of it than your body can absorb. That's why your pee's fucking green. Take in plenty of water. And I'll say probably my best feeling one every day that I do is I get enough sunlight. You need enough fucking sunshine and try to sweat at least once a day and you'll release so many pheromones and feel goods. So just take that how you want to.
Absolutely. And then we'll end on this last one. Ben, you can kick it off. How long does it take to kick a bad habit and start a new one based on you guys' personal experience?
So I think here's the thing. It depends what we're talking about, right? So I'm gonna start from the deep end of the pool. If we're talking about you have a serious substance abuse problem, you got to get help. Do not do this alone. You got to go through detox. You got to get into a program and get friggin' help. Okay. If you're trying to quit smoking, it's going to be 10 days physical addiction. And it's going to be after that, you're going to have psychological addiction. Okay. If you're trying to get better nutrition help, you know, I've heard it said that it's like 17 days of doing the same process over and over again. So this is going to take time. Plan on doing for 30 days, right? 30 days of building the new habit every day. Be on it, focus on it, check the blocks, make it your priority. Because, you know, as your habits go, so your life goes. Okay. You change your thoughts, you change your life. You change the beliefs that support the thoughts you have that lead to the certain decisions you make. And you do this over and over and over again. This leads to a life. Okay. So you got to look at what are you thinking? What are you feeling when you make these decisions? Start right there. You know, start where you stand, make a stand for yourself, and one day at a time, create the new habit. If you're dealing again with something serious, powerful substance abuse issues, okay, I'm talking, you know, bad stuff, right? Could be even fentanyl, could be opioids, could be you name it, okay? All this stuff out there. Get friggin' help, put yourself in a program. All you got to do is be strong one time, show up, okay? And give yourself to the system and go through. I'm just saying, I see too many things today where people, you know, they try to go alone. It's alcoholism as well too. And they keep on, you know, nickel and diamond here and there. And next thing you know, it's still going on for years and you're not your best self. You're not sleeping right, not doing right, all these things like that. So please start today. Do the first thing right you need to do. Build your habit. Go for 30 days. You know, whatever it is you're trying to build, but plan on 30 days. That's what I would say.
I would say something I want to add with what Ben brought up, and it just goes hand in hand with it. And I tell people when they're detoxing and I'm talking to them, I'm like, man, how do you feel today? And it's like, oh, I just feel, I'm dying. I went through it. It feels terrible. But what I did is when I was sitting in there dying, shitting, pissing, puking, whatever I was doing, I would tell myself, do you ever want to feel this way again?
Right.
So I compartmentalize that feeling at that moment. And I can always go back to, I'm like, shit, no, I don't want to feel like that again. And I never will.
Amen.
Dave, what are your thoughts? How long would you say it takes to kick a bad habit? I know Ben went the extreme route. Let's do, I don't know, stop smoking, stop drinking. Not necessarily an addict, but you just want to that behavior.
I would say 30 days to get rid of a bad habit and start a new one. About 30 days. And I would say for me, what I found, and it don't have to be just like we could just say something simple as working out and getting in shape, right? It's having someone there with you. They don't have to be doing this your level or not, but having someone there that holds you accountable to, hey, I'll see you at 6 tomorrow. You may not even do the same workout. Just what? I see you at 6 tomorrow will make me show up and be there. Hey, man, hey, you going out to do a smoke? Hey, let's do a lap around here instead of smoke. Okay, having someone to just do that with makes things easier. So I guess a way, I'm not saying, because doing things by yourself can get lonely and it gets hard at times. And a lot of people lose the why of what they do. That's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people lose, like, I'm stopping this, but when it gets hard, okay, but why? So you can live longer, so you can change something. A lot of people lose that, and I'm a big why guy. Why do you do what you do? And if you lose that, your focus of the why, then everything else falls apart. So like when everything gets hard, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? And that's what keeps people going, is like he just said, I don't want to feel it again. That's why. That's a why. I don't want this again. Right? So it's everything's a why for everything. And usually having someone there with you makes it easier to go through the harder times. So, and everything's hard. We could say, hey, man, it's addiction to something simple or something hard, or like, hey, cigarettes, drinking, going to the gym, all that stuff. If it was easy, then everyone would be doing it, right? It's not easy. So that's why you have 3 billion people every year say, hey, I'm going to start a New Year resolution of getting in shape. And the gym is packed for the first 60 days. And then they just dwindle away and 2 people are still there because they didn't grab someone else and be like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow.
Shit, New Year, new me, baby.
Thing. Huh?
New Year, new me.
And that's the thing. And then the next piece of that is, to me, don't wait. If you know something needs to be done, do it. People always like, okay, I'm gonna put it off and I'm gonna put off this change. No, man. If you know it needs to be a change and you've already thought about it, well then do it and make a commitment to yourself. And then your accountability person doesn't have to be someone there. It could be your kids, your wife. Just, hey, did you do this today? Yeah, I didn't smoke yet. Okay, cool.
The most successful people take action when they know they have to take it, and they feel it. They go ahead and they commit to something. They get into something. They take action.
So
absolutely.
And then my take on it, I'm gonna go a different direction. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
Oh no, and I was gonna say, write it down. I'm a big believer in writing stuff down so you can physically see it. If I say, hey, and then guess what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna do this for 30 days, and every day I wrote that down, I'm gonna check a day off. That's how I got through Korea. Every day I woke up.
Dude, was Korea that bad? I thought it was good times out there.
It was good times. I just wanted to be out of Korea. Was bad enough for me where I didn't go home for mid-tour because I knew I wasn't coming back. I was like, if you send me home for 30
he didn't want to subject himself to that freedom.
I'm not coming back.
So I'm gonna change levels on mine just a little bit. And this is something I did myself. I'm gonna add some stipulates to what they said about theirs. One, they was talking about not waiting, and I hear so many people say, "Well, man, Monday we gonna start." I fucking start right now if you really want to do it. Secondly, I don't know if y'all do, but I'm that friend, and I have one also that holds me accountable. I can't call him and talk about what I want to do. He gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I'm that guy too. And it's not that I'm shaming you or everything, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If you want to do this, you want to do that, then let's do it. But it's the same with drugs. And I've asked this with drug addicts before. And he said, man, I said, why don't you quit? I just don't want to. But nobody is going to quit until they want to. And that's just what it is. Nowhere you going to put them unless you're just going to put them somewhere where they can't get their hands to it. But they're just going to do it when they get out.
Yeah, when they get back. Yeah. I mean, I'll say one thing too, with all the accountability and all that stuff too. I mean, that's like one of the things I do with my coaching membership too, is the community, not doing a big plug here, but the community really is such great power because you all do a lesson, you're in there learning, but then everybody's checking in every day saying, hey, here's my goals. Here's what I'm doing. Here's how much I slept. Here's my workouts. Hey, has anybody ever seen this before? And for me, it's the coolest thing. I haven't built this, that I'm just like, man, that's the best when I see a member answering, a question from somebody who's just asking, hey, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's the power of the team. It's the power of the war room of us all in here.
You're in a positive place, and we're giving positive reinforcement because everybody's goals may not be the same. I know some people's goals, it's just their goal to get up and walk. You know what I mean? Yep. So it's all about your own, and like, just give them positive reinforcement. Everybody's not a fucking athlete. They don't have to be. The world takes all kinds. The addiction that I was going to talk about that I went through myself, and I did it unknowingly. was energy drinks.
Mm.
Every time I stopped at the store, I had to go in there and buy a drink. But I mean, it don't give me no fucking energy. It was just a 100%. It was a mental addiction. It was a mental thing. But also it goes into your finances as well. And I'm like, well, shit, man, that's $300 a month on two a day.
Right.
You know, and I started figuring that in, and I'm like, I don't need that fucking thing. You know, when I go to the stop to get gas, I don't go inside. And that's what it becomes. So another thing with getting off a lot of these things is you'll get sugar. Sugar is tough. And I'm sorry, sugar, if you look at it, sugar is bad. And we've got to take it in. And what I like to do with people is I give them eyesight. So I have friends that drink 2-3 Cokes a day. And I was like, look on the back of it. And I teach them how to read the panel because people don't know how to read the nutritional value. And I say, okay, this has got 52 grams of sugar and you drink 3 of them a day. And I pour out 156 grams of sugar on a plate for them. And I said, would you eat that?
That's a great demonstration.
They look at it and they're like, holy shit. And I'm like, you consume that every single day. So if you wouldn't sit there and spoon it, just because they found another way to put it in their body, it's the same, same difference.
Right.
Everybody works different. I do believe in giving them some things like that. If we're going to do it in food nutrition, you would be surprised how many people are uneducated in what a serving size is on the back of a panel, because they'll be like, oh, I'm taking in da 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 da. I was like, you're taking in 6 servings with that. So, it's sometimes just need to be a little educated, but I say, give everybody a little bit of positive encouragement, and we're all going to get where we want to go. If you're going to be a down and out, get the fuck on up out of there. I'll fire you. Like, get the hell on. Go miserable by yourself.
Awesome feedback. Hey, go give Ben some encouragement on his YouTube channel. Let him know how much you guys appreciate it. Ben, where can people find you if they want to follow you and get help?
Find me on YouTube, Ben Pappas, Instagram, Ben Pappas1, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, all over the place, Threads, X, everywhere. So just on my name. And I've got a link tree on there with, links to anything from, my apparel, my shirts, like this, warrior shirt, all that stuff, my journals, but then also my coaching membership. That's the big thing I'm pushing right now, just because honestly, I love it. It's super cool and fun. I want to see this community grow. And right now, if you join right now, the community is for free for a lifetime. Okay. So you join the coaching membership, but even if you leave, you're still in the community for a lifetime. And I really want to see this thing like grow beyond, all expectations. And so everybody's just like Bobby's saying, supporting each other, positive reinforcement, and so that's for a limited time only. It's, you join the coaching membership and you're going to be able to have this community, private community for free for a lifetime. So check that out, please. And thank you. Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure being on the War Room. And thanks for all the support, everybody. Love you guys.
Yeah. And the cool thing about being on YouTube, Ben, which it was actually one of the things that motivated me to just put my head down and just grind with when no one knew what Green Beret Chronicles was, is the fact that, one day I'm going to have great grandkids watching this, and I'm not going to be around, but they're going to be able to go on YouTube or whatever they have, hundreds of years from now, and they're going to be able to watch their great grandfather speak and inspire.
I love it.
So that's what kept me going when I looked at my YouTube channel, and I I got 16 members on here. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it for them, right? If nobody sees it, they will one day. And that just kept me on the path, and that just motivated me to keep crushing it.
I had a similar motivation with my Instagram at first, but now with YouTube, being with you guys, you guys are like out of control, hundreds of thousands of followers, all this stuff. It's motivating. It's a little bit intimidating too. It's tough, it's not.
Oh no, you
easy,
got it.
So you guys are doing it.
And I'll tell you what,
him my goddamn cuts either. That shit.
But it's the same process every single time, because I just started a new channel. Hell, when we started Green Beret Chronicles, there was nobody on here, right? So it's that same grind, and eventually the content will just a snowball, and then before you know it, it just takes one video and it'll take off. So
awesome.
just
tell them about the underdog. Tell them about the underdog. Tell them about the underdog.
Oh, so Bobby and I are working on a American series called American Underdogs, where we identify individuals that really weren't supposed to do the amazing things that they did, right? They were just a cook. They were just a chaplain.
Marine chaplain.
And then
nice.
they just happen to go on mission that day, and then shit hits the fan, and then next thing you know, they got the Medal of Honor. So that's going to be every Sunday. Bobby is doing his best talking head impersonation.
That was going to be fantastic. I'm going to watch that.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
oh
we
yeah.
already did the first one.
amazing.
It's about a Marine chaplain from Vietnam that wins the Medal of Honor. He was on the front lines. He would go with the guys in the ground, dirt. His Vincent Capodanno, the grunt Padre. He was shot 27 times in the back, praying over a corpsman and shielding him with his body.
Yeah, and then the next episode is going to be JFK. I didn't know
JFK was a dog, boy. That was.
I had no idea. I had no idea, right? But JFK was a stud too.
Yeah.
Dave, where can people find you?
So yeah, you can go find me on Facebook at David Harris, Instagram David Harris, Harris Strategic Solutions. You can contact me on my email with davidharris3122 at Outlook. Like I said before, I'm the lead trainer for the military and law enforcement for Vortex Optics, and we go around the country giving free training to military and law enforcement. We've been doing that for 2.5 years.
Nice. Bobby, where can people find you if they want to link up with
y'all
you?
can find me here on fucking Fridays if they don't kick me the fuck off. You can watch us on American Underdogs. It's over there underneath the Green Beret Chronicles. You can find me on X under Alamo Joe, cussing somebody out all the time. I ain't gonna say no names. Facebook is Bobby Oller. Instagram, you can find me on there. Got some good videos. I'm on TikTok as well. I like to put some fun stuff up on there. I just had one go, my very first viral one. I got like 200,000 views in 2 days.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, what it was is my kid is going to school. So I was telling her the story about Paul Revere. And, you know, the teacher lady trying to tell me that they didn't do it with a wiffle ball bat. So, you know, I was talking about, you know, I listened to the Beastie Boys growing up. And I'm like, that's Paul Revere right there. You know what I'm saying? People got a good laugh out of it, whatnot. And as far as that goes, go like the American Underdogs. Also, my nonprofit that I work for is very important to me. It's at toursofduty.org. We work overseas in Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, reappropriating servicemen that were left, POWs, MIA from the Vietnam War. We've been a very successful outfit. It does cost to do these things. I don't like to ask anybody for a dime. If you can, get on with it. Right now, we're running a special on this specialty whiskey we have. It's about $280 a bottle, but you'll get $1,200 which you can write off on your taxes. It'll be where you can write it off. All that money goes over there. All it's for research and travel. Not one person on that team takes one dime. So it's all for the cause and good people and what we can do to try to, you know, bring some guys home.
Absolutely. And then shout out to Aaron, guys. He had to punch on early. Shout out to Jake. Hopefully you're enjoying your time. Shout out to Nate. All right. We miss you boys, and we'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Guys, 2 hours and 10 minutes. We appreciate the audience for always showing up, for always showing us love and listening to us just rant on here, right? I appreciate you guys. And until next time, folks, take care of yourselves.
Doses.
Thanks, guys.